All right, guys. Now back to the regular show, starring the amazing, incomparable SpaceBros. And we're not going to go through each individual except for me, because I'm the lead singer and the amazing person in the Moist Noodle Band, Mitauchi. That was easy.
There's Mit's back.
There we go. What is up, guys?
How's it going?
There we go. That was fun. I think I was really getting in my groove there at the end. I had
new
solo.
It was good to loosen up, you know?
It was nice.
I think we have a new career.
I think so. I mean, you know, sorry, Twitch. We might be switching from Star Citizen over to the music channel real soon here. Live music requests.
Star Citizen to hire us to do some background music.
That's right. Oh, man. CitizenCon 2018, Moist Noodle Band. Be there, Austin, Texas.
Yep,
we're doing it. All right, so another wonderful week of Star Citizen. So we had all sorts of different little goodies pop up. A lot of good testing. But first, let's find out what everybody's been up to in the game and otherwise this week. We'll start out with we haven't heard from Toy in a while. Let's say, how you doing, Toy? Good to have you back in the show.
Good.
Cool.
I'm doing real good.
Now, you might know you're occupying the chair. Make sure it's kind of cleaned up and everything over there. We don't want to have any messes around you or anything, because you are in the chair of the mighty Geo Get Money was sitting up there in your window.
Well, you know, I did come prepared.
You did?
So.
Oh, okay. Well, you're good then.
I mean,
yeah.
Geo ain't the king.
There you go. So. All right. Crazy sauce. All right, what have you been up to this week, man? What's been going on?
Been finally getting my computer back together.
Nice.
Got my desk all straightened up, so now I can raise and lower it.
There you go.
Dropping my computer.
It totally looks like you are moving up and down, but I know it's your desk, but it looks like Toy's just like it's like, look, I got one of those too, guys. I'll just go.
Yeah.
it's like
make your chair fall.
Yeah, your chair just goes down.
It's like when you like pretend to walk downstairs.
I have a very expensive desk, guys. Deflating. That's great. Well, good, man. I'm glad you're getting your rig back together, because we can get in some more games and stuff now, and that'll be good. So
absolutely.
Be sure to check out Toy. He'll be playing some real video games now.
I streamed Star Citizen for just a few minutes earlier, and of course crashed. So.
Well, that was more the build than probably your machine, though, so it's all good, though. But Scorpion, welcome back again.
Hello, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yep, I had to put you in polar opposite corners in the few, because you guys have never been on the show together, and I didn't want it to like explode.
And
we're like, what is those fish that you can't put in the tank together? Or they'll kill each other.
Oh, is that what it is? Those guys?
Yeah.
Do you mean betas in here?
Yeah, until they get to know each other.
I was thinking more if we were too close, we might reach critical mass, and then who knows what would happen.
Critical mass of coolness.
Yeah, could be. But otherwise, what have you been up to this week, man?
Gosh, I've been. Let me see. It seems like work was really busy, but I still got in all my streams, and did mostly Star Citizen. Pretty much always Star Citizen.
Cool.
And had pretty good luck with 3.0. Various PTUs, including the 1.1 PTU tonight briefly, and it's been pretty okay. Not too many issues, and so it's been pretty good.
Nice. I almost forgot our tags there. We had to put them on there. And
oh yeah, no, that's really important. And
of course, the few. You've been hammering it hard, man. We've been watching you a lot. You're just getting some hours in on the stream. It's good. So
it's been insane.
Yeah, what's been going on this week? It's like you have the house party, the Fuse house party, where everybody just piles in. We all hang out in your channel.
Like I've been having a blast. I got back from India, right, and I just started streaming again, and then I just haven't stopped. I just I normally take breaks, and every day I want to take a day off. Like some new patch comes out or something happens, I'm like, oh, I want to jump in and check that out. So I do, and then everybody jumps on my channel, and it's a good time. And then and then I've had some first for me, and I'm gonna just drop a few names right here. But I had Board Gamer jump on.
Snap.
That was I've been Board Gamer is the one who got me into Twitch. He doesn't know, he knows that now because I told him. But I watched his videos, and then I started I realized that Twitch existed, and I was like, oh, he's doing live shows on Twitch. So I came into Twitch, watched his shows on Twitch, and then I started watching other people on Twitch, and then I started streaming on Twitch, and then all goes from there. So that was a big deal for me. It was pretty cool. And then I've just been exploring the patches. 3.1.1 is really amazing. Playing around with that today. I think everybody's going to be enjoying it. It's got some stability issues still, but it's pretty good.
Seems like they're on the road to improvement each time, though. You know, they've had to do a couple rollbacks, but it seems like they recover and then they put it back out, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been like really appreciating all the hard work that CIG's been putting in. Like you can tell they're going like burning the midnight oil to make sure that we have a release that is playable and enjoyable. So
absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Well, this week, guys, I'd like to remind everybody viewing again that we still have the amazing 1080 giveaway going on, and there is a line of other things happening. But be sure to be entering that. Watching all the different Space Bros, getting in their channels, getting active there, doing the thing, including Dr. Drones, who's in chat there. So you can get your extra entries to this giveaway all throughout the month of April, and then possibly you'll go away with the beautiful 1080 Ti 11 gigabyte EVGA super duper clocked card. I believe it does say duper on the box too, but it is a pretty cool thing. Wow. I really wish I had it. It's like, it's gonna be hard not to test install it here. I'm like, I won't open the box, but
yeah, really, you'll get a box that arrives at your door. It'll say not a flamethrower.
Yeah, not a flamethrower. Absolutely. So be sure to be getting in that. All right. So this week, calling all devs, we had pop up, and calling all devs.
Good one.
It was a good one. It was solid. I really enjoyed it. What was some of the highlights that you liked from it? The view. We'll start with you.
Okay, I remember it, but I'm missing a few pieces, but I remember being amazing. But I think it. Like, give me the highlight real quick overview, and I'll remember everything.
Okay, highlight overview of it. Main topics were ship docking, scanning, and cockpit customization.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the cockpit customization. I mean, I think it's cool. A lot of people are really excited about that. I think that's kind of like. I mean, I don't need a bobblehead, although Disco Lando bobblehead would be cool, chat. For me, scanning, I think, was what was really interesting to me and what they were talking about relating to scanning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was most excited about. I don't really have any specifics relating to it. I think they described it the way I thought it would probably work in that regard, so...
Yeah, I think for me the customization aspect, the only thing that's really redeeming quality, because again, I like them having hanger flares and those type of things in the game. It's not something that I'm a super fan of, but I would say that those type of items in my ship, as opposed to my hangar, I'd probably see and interact with more, because I don't plan on just sitting in my hangar very often. I just don't think that's going to be a thing, unless there's some benefit to doing so, like sorting stock, organizing inventory, something like that, or fitting out a ship in some special way. But I just don't see me spending a lot of time in the hangar. Matter of fact, my idea was to have more of a active mobile fleet where we're always out in space and we're trying to, you know, perpetually survive in space and just have small weapons caches around the universe for resupplies, refitting, those type of things. But otherwise, keep the capitals and everything out there, send the starfares out to refuel, and just try to keep mobile the entire time. So yeah, I see some cool things about it, but again, it's not high focus. But I applaud them for continually finding more, you know, aesthetic items that are not really, they won't impact the game. More things people could buy potentially, and those type of things. So I'm always a proponent of that. Yeah,
I do think it was. I thought it was interesting that hearing an echo for some reason.
Are you?
Yeah, it's weird. 1 second. Maybe it's my fault.
I was hearing it too.
You were hearing it too? I don't.
Yeah, I didn't hear it earlier. 1 second, I'm gonna take my headphones off so I can talk. Okay. So
let me see.
I thought it was interesting how they mentioned something about a radio. You know, like, because they're mentioning like how you had like they used to have a hangar flare where you could play music from your hangar, I think.
I just figured out why.
And now they said, oh, they were bringing that back, I guess. And then they were mentioned, I think maybe I heard them correctly, they mentioned something along the lines of allowing that in the ship as a ship flare item. Which does that mean you're going to be able to listen to music from your PC or from some sort of streaming service?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It's fixed now.
I fixed it. What it was, I had the audio open from the video, from the YouTube video, good. That we were playing the song to.
Yeah, okay, I can talk now without going insane.
Yeah, that way no loop back. It's a special defense trigger audio. But yeah, that was really cool. I think that was neat. The ship docking is always interesting. A lot of the information they were talking about in it was, again, something what we're planning on, something the way it's working. We're planning on doing it, you know, and these are kind of the things, but nothing solid on certain aspects. again. But it's good to know that they're always in the right direction and stuff. So Scorpion, anything from Calling All Devs that stood out for you that you wanted to kind of nail on or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, so the thing that stood out the most for me was the docking piece, where they said that the docking was definitely still a thing, and that it was always going to be a thing, and there should have been no doubt ever because it was always that way.
Yeah.
And I can I'm pretty certain that it was definitely said at one point that docking was no longer a thing because they couldn't figure out the whole physics between two ships and the movement and the stuff and whatever, so that's why they removed docking collars and it went away. And then I think that they needed to do docking between ships and stations, truck stops, etc.
Yeah.
And then they stated very clearly, of course, docking ships is definitely in.
So
I was glad to hear it.
Yeah.
But I was pretty certain that they had said no at one point.
Go ahead.
Go for it. Oh, I was gonna say, like, I think they said no, and they said no originally. I thought it was more for like these medium to small ships, and big ships were always gonna have docking. How are you gonna get people on board or off board, right? But it's like they originally, when they said no docking, I thought they had said that it just made more sense to EVA. It was more practical in the future for them to EVA with their spacesuits,
especially cargo.
I know it's for technical reasons, but the lore, they built it into that lore, right, as well.
That was exactly the reason. They said, oh, you're going to want to EVA anyway, so we don't have to dock. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right.
And I agreed with it, too, because if I'm in a like a Cutlass Black, for example, I'm not going to want to dock with another Cutlass Black to move between them. That's just ridiculous. But whereas if I'm in a big ship, right, like a Javelin or an Idris, docking kind of makes sense. But you can have hallway size. Yeah, you can have hallway size docking,
and you can move cargo between those in those larger hallways. Whereas like a Jeffries tube or a little like a single man width tube that you kind of EVA through or whatever they were going to do, trying to carry even a small 1x1 box would seem super cumbersome to me. It just doesn't seem practical.
And he mentioned about two Connies being upside down on top of each other, docked between each other.
Yeah,
that's going to be weird too.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, that tube is just big enough for a person to go through, and that's it.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
In the beginning, though, when this whole topic originally came up, and they were talking about, it's going to be a problem, blah blah blah. We're still looking at it, but at this point in time, we're thinking we're not going to do this like smaller to medium ships dock to docking, which I remember that too. But I also remember that they never came out and said that was the reason they removed the docking collar from the Cutlass. That was our presumption as a community, and it tied into like what they said there. But that was part of just the redesign, because I think they omitted it because at that time they didn't think they were going to do docking, so there was no reason to like, oh, let's figure out how to get this docking collar back in here and all this stuff. I don't think they did that because of that, but it was just one of those things that happened. And as a community, we did make that presumption because we're like, we read between the lines with CIG with a lot of things. They might say certain things, but well, you kind of get it a little bit. But no, the whole thing was, it still seems like an impractical thing that's unnecessary to me. But the problem was the community threw a shit fit about it. Absolutely threw a complete shit fit about these little tubes. They're like, oh, we have to have that, because they were thinking about making party barges and stuff and all this crap. And I'm like, I still think it's impractical. I think the community is now like not as worried about it, but now that people have asked, and it's come up, oh yeah, we're still doing all that. I'm like, oh god, you opened another can of worms.
Sorry, go for it.
I was just gonna say, on the Constellations, the docking ring is over the top.
Well, they have the two sides too. Remember, they extend out.
They got one above.
Yes, they do have one above. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Jump in the air and try and shimmy your way up?
Supposedly at some point you could turn off your own gravity in the ship.
Okay.
When those systems are in to do so I would think you'd be able to, but again, entirely impractical to me. Like, there's no point of that's like, oh yeah, this makes total sense. Turn off the gravity, and then we can freely move across the extra 6 feet of space. I'm like, why wouldn't I just go out the side?
It would be really cool. Oh, sorry, go for it.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say it would be really cool if maybe, and I'm totally throwing stuff in here, but maybe turning off gravity is how in a smaller ship you transport cargo. You know what I mean? Like between ships or something, because you might not be able to pick it up otherwise. I don't know.
Well, the other thing I was thinking is if you either came across a derelict or you disabled a ship, maybe that's a way to secure the ship to make sure it doesn't get away or doesn't drift off. You would dock to it like that, some sort of automated, like we hold in when we land, and it would moor and like lock on rings. But to me, none of the rings match up. So again, we're back to the like, oh, let's do a million rewrites and go, now we're going to try and match up rings of different sizes. I'm like, it just seems like we already ripped the Band-Aid off and we moved past it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go back to that again. And I'm just like, it just seems like a bad idea. Yeah. They even explained on the larger ships, even though you'd want to moor to the stations, but that was the purpose of like having these little troop transports, right? Like on the Argos and all this stuff. And it's like, that's how you get up to the ships in space. And otherwise on a station you could walk through. But most people are going to fly and land on them and all these things. And I'm like, okay. And I feel like we were in a place where the community accepted that. And I'm just kind of like, why are we talking about docking collars again?
I think
until now,
I think docking is something that is needed absolutely for ships where you have like, 10 people or, like imagine trying to load a Javelin when you like ship by ship or EVAing, like seeing 80 people EVAing over from a space station to get in. So I think that like the big ships guaranteed. I agree. I don't know what the value add is for small ships at all.
Yeah, but even then, I think if like say for example in Idris and you did want an 80-man crew, even though that's not wholly impractical in my mind anyway. Let's say 30 or 40 or whatever. The only time you're going to be without crew is when the ship is first respawned or you're just loading it because you're going to rotate people in there.
No, all the time. I think people are going to leave all the time. I mean, like
I don't think they're going to leave all the time. I think they're going to go to bed there.
You think all Idrises are going to have a rotating man crew? They're not going to like jump in an Idris, flat around for a mission, then all leave and go back and do their normal day-to-day thing?
I don't think they're going to just moor it up somewhere all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
No, I think people are going to log off in their beds. They're going to have like 6 dudes left, log off in their beds, and they're going to despawn the Idris.
Yeah, maybe.
Is what they're going to try to do. Even though I still feel like the Idris should not be despawnable, but that's me. It's like
it might not be. Have they made a decision on that one way or the other?
I don't think they've. I had a calling all deads question in there, and most of them been answered, but that one never got answered about which ships are going to be despawned and which ones are not.
That's probably just because they don't know yet.
They might not.
Yeah, they have no idea. But it would make sense that you would need to have NPC crew on there, especially if you have a big vessel like that out in deep space.
Yeah,
right.
But it's kind of a loaded question because they could always come out and say, well, we're going to despawn everything. But you'd have to get your whole crew off or they'd all have to go to sleep. Or we're not going to despawn anything, that's sub-cap or something like that. It's like it's one of those things where we leave it open to that type of design where they could go either way or this is what we're thinking. But they don't like to give this is what we're thinking questions. And I know they've thought about it because it's a huge part. Because the other thing is, on the hindsight, as much as I want these ships, some of these largest ships to persist like Idris and above, at the same time, you think about with their network bind calling and all this stuff and wanting to remove these assets from the field, it might be just easier to despawn the ships on the system so that way you don't have all these Idrises persistent somewhere, moored or docked or anything like that, because that's a lot of assets on the field in an instance. So for optimization of the server, it might be impractical to have these ships persist. I don't know. I hope not, but
yeah, you're gonna run into that like gameplay meets technical obstacles all the time. So we'll see what they do. Yep.
Absolutely. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't know. Overall, very good calling all devs. I thought it was really interesting one. Did we get all the answers we wanted? I think there were satisfactory answers. I don't feel like we were left in the void on them, but at the same time, some of the stuff I wish was not upvoted. But I can't tell the community how to vote because they obviously upvoted the docking color thing, and I just feel like that was a total dead issue that just didn't need to come right back again. All right. So what else we'd have? We had the lore post. I think it was. Wasn't it on? Was it the lore post this week? It was the lore post this week. Yeah. I get it all blends together in my brain.
The null system or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So. The null system. Pull it up here real quick.
Yeah, can you? I actually don't. I didn't see that one episode. So
yeah,
sorry.
It's okay.
I knew about it. I just didn't. Yeah.
I watched the whole thing, and I honestly couldn't tell you anything about it. I really couldn't. It kind of was in one ear and out the other. But I'm that way with a lot with lore. I don't know. Did any of you guys actually fully ingest the null thing?
No. Negative.
So we're null on null. So, you know, if you want to find out more about that, go watch it. It's 12 minutes, 32 seconds long.
I'm sure it's fantastic.
Most informative show ever. But
the null system that we have no information on exactly.
It did sound really interesting, but yeah, no, I did not watch it.
I just didn't have time.
I'm just not like, part of me is like, I don't want to know that much about all the star systems that are out there. I want to explore them.
100%. That's the way I am with all the lore.
Right.
I feel like, I don't think it'll ruin it for me, but at the same time, there's some things I just kind of want to, like, you know, discover in the game itself.
Or it would be nice to be able to, like, go to the null system,
and then
watch the video, learn all the stuff, and go explore it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then maybe you'll be able to, maintain some of that. Because right now I feel like watching all these videos, I'm not going to remember all this stuff.
I'm not, but what would be really cool is if they take these videos, like on the systems, and then when you go to your star map, you can get a tour, but it's not the picture of the video. It's just like the highlight on the map when he's discussing it all. That would be kind of a cool little, this is about Noel, you know, or something. And it could be in
quantum traveling for half an hour. You can pull up the video and watch it as you're going.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's actually pretty cool too. But yeah, I figure that's later on, because for me, I'm not going to remember it now anyway. And I do want to probably at some point try and figure out kind of like what systems I should be trying to target for different things. But that's a later thing, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, and I also hope if they do give information on the systems like that, that they don't give too much of the history, that they just give some factual data, like, okay, it has this type of star, this stuff has asteroids, it is currently occupied by these divisions, as we know, and you know, this race, stuff like that. Because even though I'm not a heavy explorer or anything, I want the game to be fun and interesting and have those dynamics where it doesn't have a lot of spoilers for people that want to give that aspect of the game. And then people that want to be like, oh, I want the whole downloaded thing, they can go back to the video on the RSI website and do it that way. So I think both aspects are pretty important.
Well, I think that's true.
Game.
And also, it's entirely possible that the time when we enter the verse as well is that we know a lot of history about some places, but maybe we don't know a lot of other history about some of the stuff, right? So I'm not sure how far along in kind of the evolution of this whole thing we are once we enter into this.
That's true.
Yeah, I hope there's a lore, and I'm sure they're going to do it, but I hope there's a lore that they make publicly available as knowledge, and there's a lore that exists that enriches the universe that isn't necessarily just in an encyclopedia that you can read, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. And here ATV, and this is the part where I really want to kind of start to get into. The truck stops are really, really neat.
That was amazing.
I need a couple of them to house my fleet.
Yeah, me too.
They look
maybe
really cool.
one in each system.
I love the I love the gaudy neon in places and stuff. It reminds me of some of the stuff I've seen in EVE Online too, with some of the stations. But the difference is this isn't a set piece. This is actual randomized stations you can go into and interact with, and that's pretty awesome.
And it was amazingly detailed when on that flyby when they showed like underneath and everything. It was crazy detail. Really, really nice.
Yeah. If they could randomize like just engines on the back of that as well, we could turn it into a mobile carrier, and then everything's perfect.
And this right here blew my mind. It was like, oh, the hangars going into the hangars.
That's the question. How do we think they didn't talk about that? And I think that may be a question. But are they going to handle those hangars with the doors closing the same way they do with the landing pads on Porto? Or are you going to land in that hangar and your ship's going to despawn, and like, you know, like what they do with the hangars on Levski? You know what I mean? And then you spawn and despawn? Or is there going to be...
I remember them saying that the hangars were like an embedded instance. So that way they would never run out of hangars for people to fly in. Like, you'd fly into your hangar, but that same doorway may be my hangar next. You see what I'm saying?
So like you fly and you land in your hangar and you can hang out in as long as you want. Nobody will despawn your ship. However, when you go to open the door to fly, they might say, oh, we have to wait. There's like somebody else taking off. And then they'll give you the next window in 2 minutes or something.
So it's not like a ship just pop up and appear. This is probably the
way more
advancement. Yeah, this is the advancement of what we have on the pads where ships just go. It's like, no, you're in a hangar. You have to wait for the flight path and you do those sort of things. So I could see them elevating the entire build to do that eventually. They're already set up to do that at Grimhex. Because if you look on the back end of Grimhex, it has a bunch of hangars on the side of Grimhex to do that sort of thing.
But notice how they didn't pull 100% away from the landing pads.
Yeah.
So does that
No.
mean like when you land, like if I land on a landing pad, will I be able to log out and go home? And if I do, I get off the game. If I do, will that ship stay there on the landing pad until I
Your
log
ship
back
will
in?
disappear.
It'll disappear just
Right.
like it would in
So
space.
you still have that like
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
Probably.
immersive, like
It
spawning.
would probably
despawning.
depend, because that would require that you have basically this like ship parking service at these truck stops where if you just abandon your ship there, somebody takes care of it for you.
But you have to,
It
you
might
have
be
to
more interesting
remember
if-
the
Go
only
ahead.
reason to despawn at the truck stop is if you have business there, really, or you're refueling and
Right.
repairing. Because at that point, you're going to be able to just fly your ship up in a safe spot somewhere in space and
Yeah.
log out, and you'll disappear there. You don't have
That's
to
true.
be at the truck stop at that point.
If
There's
if your ship has a bed.
yes, unless you're in a fighter craft, and then those landing pads are big enough where they're going to support a huge amount of fighter craft or smaller ships if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, you're gonna land there. You're gonna go inside. You're gonna rent a bed probably in the truck stop somewhere.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. The other pretty cool thing when they were talking about the kind of procedural interiors is that they specifically said that what they were going to try and do was have like a lot of the main areas be very similar, because
Yes.
they would be, right? If you were doing this, as a business, they wouldn't all be different, but that a lot of the like decorations would be different.
Yeah, like in this scene here is specifically where they talked about that. You'd have the same
Yep.
foundation shape, but they'd have
Yep.
different props and set pieces and stuff like that to make
Yep.
them kind of look different, and they can really deviate that a lot with
Yeah.
that. So they're still
Yeah, I
going to have
think that's
different
perfect.
rooms, and they're going to be able to change different shapes. So maybe say they have 23 different types of truck stops, but they can make that increase dynamically by hundreds by just adding
Yep.
different types of props and layouts and things of that nature without changing
Yeah,
the
I think
entire
the-
structure.
The different props will do it as well, right? Like different posters, different lighting, different
Well, and
plants,
like the
different whatever.
construction zone you see there,
Yep.
those things are props still. I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
to have that there. It could be totally open floor, or you can
Exactly.
all sorts of different aspects to it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, when CIG talks about props, they're not just talking about like cups and dishes. They're talking about
No.
major set pieces all the way around.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and they can tie NPCs to those props too. So whenever
Absolutely.
you have like a construction prop like that, there's an NPC that comes around and adjusts the tape around it or something. So
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
definitely. This little piece here I want to talk about too. This is like I always point this out, which I think is funny whenever after the guy gets done running here. Where the guy goes from a very nice animation with the NPC interacting with you, and he snaps to robot.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can't wait till that's gone, where he'll like have a better idle animation where he transfers through, he's just chilling, and then if you're still standing there, he's like, "Hey, buddy."
He went straight to attention.
He's like, yeah, he went like power
Yeah.
offline, Android powering
Yeah,
down.
he's like, "Oh, well, have a wonderful day, sir, and then we'll see you later." Just like snap.
That's pretty funny. I actually didn't notice that. That's great.
Yeah, the you can tell it's still a lot of transitional elements
Yeah.
there.
Well, it shows you where we are right now, which
Still
is
really good though, but the facial features, look at his eyebrows, his eyes, everything's really animated,
It's amazing.
and then it just snaps
Yeah.
off like boop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's gonna be
It's
so
like, I
crazy
have
when
no
you
more
have
programming.
NPCs around and your buddy takes them over, and then it's like they
Yeah.
also become really animated to FOIP and stuff again. It's like you went from wax figure to like, oh my god. But no, I thought this was really cool too. Like actually, some of the objects, the interaction with them, like this would be a possible beacon you'd have set somewhere for a mission or something of that nature.
Yep.
I was like, great stuff with the ambient
That looks
lighting.
awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool. So many cool possibilities and stuff on some of this. They're getting a lot better about all of it. Also, interaction with different objects like the beds, those type of things. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that they're really polishing now to make it feel alive. And I think this was my favorite thing.
This is really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is long overdue.
Yeah. I was like, my God, you're having me have flashbacks of Splinter Cell, where I used to shoot out there'd be achievement to
Every
shoot out
light.
every single
Yeah.
light possible, and then put
Yep.
on your night vision goggles, and
Yep.
then all the enemies are walking around like, huh? What's happening? It's like, and then you're just like, stealth kill.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that's going to be really, really neat to have finally. Because how many lights have you walked by that irritate
Yeah.
you at these landing zones you want to shoot out?
And they talked more about
Maybe.
that on the RTV, which we can get to later. But yeah, it was really cool.
And then talked about, you can see they're gearing up for medical stuff because they talked about new set pieces and stuff and how they're kind of laying that out, getting that all dynamically ready. And I thought this was really interesting. right?
The subcomponents.
The subcomponents to modify your components in there. So
Yeah.
like you change
Yeah.
out little module to kind of tweak them, and that's going to give you even more diversity on that. So you can have
that's
like a
gonna be
shield
so
generator.
cool.
Yeah, shield generator, but I've modified it with the new Spectrum A1 too. And it's like, get a different frequency pulse or something. That's badass.
No, and it's going to create so much rich gameplay for people. Because, like, for me, like, I have no idea what I'm going to be into, what I'm going to learn about, but I'm already lost. Like, when I'm talking to people about combat, they're like, oh, just use the such and such laser repeater weapon. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So it's like, if I'm flying a big ship like an Idris, so there's going to be people who know all the different modifying components and all the different things, and you're going to be like, cool, go down to engineering, buy all the parts you need to run the ship and tweak it to what we need, right? And nobody else is going to know that, or very few people. So different people will have their knowledge, and I think these kind of components are going to add value for that kind of gameplay,
Yeah,
so it's going to be really cool.
absolutely.
There's Moist Doodle.
I got your back, Geo.
And Geo's in chat too, so yeah.
Oh yeah, Geo. Moist, you missed it. Sorry. Well, we blamed you for everything, though.
Don't worry, there'll be a
Yeah, we
highlight after the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll put a highlight up.
I think we did it proud.
Yep.
But yeah, and they talked about having multiple subcomponents,
Yep.
not just one.
Oh, that's very true. Depending on
some
the
of the
type of
things.
component it is and what size it is, some of it will be. It's going to have a nice variety and attitude. It'll be really good.
I just hope they're putting enough storage spaces in these ships for all these components and subcomponents.
I think they want to make your choices real, right? Like you literally, some of these ships, there are people like, oh, I got cargo in XYZ ship, right? Like, and it's mostly a combat role. It's not a cargo ship primarily. People think they're going to haul cargo. I think you're going to be hauling your components to replace your crap, especially if it's long range. You're not going to, people are like, oh, I got 30 SDU. I'm like, well, 10 of that's probably going to be for your replacement parts in case you break down somewhere or else you'll be paying out the nose.
I think it's really cool because somebody's going to like put it on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in combat and something's going to blow out and you're going to be like, go get the something component. And you're going to be like, where is it? And you're going to literally probably have to run to some shelf in some room in your ship, find it, digging through, panicking like while your ship is on fire. Oh, I found it, running back, installing it. You know what I mean? This kind of, oh man, it's going to be insane.
I want to see the panic emote. They need that.
Yeah.
Like the emote's like, ah! Just...
Yeah, I mean, like, just things you're gonna have physicalized items and components is just insane. Like, even like the beacons. Like, you're I want to like leave a beacon out here in space for somebody to be able to find this. You probably won't be able to do that unless you have like a physical beacon sitting somewhere in your inventory on your ship. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of mindset, which doesn't exist in a lot of other games.
There'll be a rocket or something they originally described that you load and you fire or whatever.
Sure, but it'll be a physical thing or whatever. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'm just
Absolutely. Oh yeah, they talked about a lot more about the just the HUD, the interfaces and stuff with the MFDs and everything. I love this. It's been really fun to see the different types of stuff. And in that scene right there, they were specifically talking about the dialogue, the NPC dialogue interactions, like how they've made it less annoying, I guess is the best word for me, where it's not repetitive. So they have a whole Wild Lines dialogue where they can choose from a variety of different things to say and do interact. And I've noticed that, like when I first played 3.1, I was just like, what'd he say? Because it's like you catch in and he said something totally different than what I'd heard him say before. And then as it got repetitive with some of the other interdictions, you hear him have a wide variety of things to say based on like if they're kicking your butt, if you're kicking their butt, all those type of things. So I like that. It's cool.
Yeah, but I have a feeling it's still going to be
soon.
Yeah, I still have a feeling it's going to be annoying for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, the more you experience it, the more you're going to get that. It's
I mean, by the time this game comes out, we're going to know all of them, and we're going to be so bored of them, and we're going to think we need more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somebody else is going to come in and say that's crazy. Yeah.
It's this way. It's the way it'll go. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. All right. What else did Ricky talk about? Talked about a lot more with the AI stuff. And then I can't remember what the model thing was he talked about. He was talking about the mesh zones on the characters. And I think he was talking about some of the deviation. Yeah, here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
he's just talking about how... Oh, sorry. Go. Yeah, he's talking about the efficiency, like or like when you like cover a certain part of the character, it actually hides the torso, so you aren't rendering and getting clipping and all that jazz.
Yep.
Yeah. which is more of a technical thing. Like, it wasn't really gameplay, like conversation. It was around like how are they making the game more efficient.
Absolutely. All the
Which we need.
optimizations.
Which makes you wonder, though, if you go back and look at the meshes. I don't know if you can see that anywhere, but it's like they don't have a mesh that like lets you have a tank top. Like, I mean, they kind of do, but not really. So like, our tank
like a
top's not going to be in the
tank
game.
top?
Yeah, because like you got the shoulders. I guess.
Well, they
like,
got it where you get like you're naked basically. I mean, you get your drawers and that's it.
Yeah, I
Probably
guess.
have 'em, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe they'll leave the shoulders in or something. Yeah, that makes sense.
Nobody
Okay.
wears tank tops.
Well,
in the
if you
future.
look at the way the
Yeah.
mesh is too with the chest, they could literally just go in the
Yeah, they
middle
hide the
part
chest,
and
the stomach, but they'd have to leave the shoulders or something.
Yeah.
That makes sense though.
I'm sure there's some way they can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure they have them. Do they already have them? They probably already have them in the game, and I just don't realize it.
I don't know. I'm not a big tank top guy in video games.
It's important.
I only have the guns out in real life. That's the way it works.
Hmm.
So
This looked awesome.
this looked amazing.
I want a whole planet
Yeah.
with this.
Yep. Well, you do. It's right there. We call it.
Well, that's from
we
inside
call
the
it
core,
half. We
right?
call it half box room.
Oh yeah.
That
I
is
do-
just amazing. I want to
I
point
am
something
interested-
out in this. If I know it's in engine and everything, but look at the FPS level they're putting out up there. If you look at the top right when they're inside game up
can't
there,
see it.
173.6 and
Wow.
stuff, and to like have this many effects and all this stuff going.
But they have like almost no triangle object. No, like they're not building. It's like not a large map. You know, it's like a few boxes and some particle effects. So
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to see what the area effect is, like what the zone level they're doing is. It's just
Yeah.
like
But it's cool. I am interested to see like how they, because right now the EMP like effects are still horribly ugly in my
Yeah.
opinion. So we'll see what they do with it.
I wouldn't say. I don't think they're horribly ugly. I think they're
Yeah.
they're kind of like seen that before. You know what I mean? Like, I think it seems familiar. Like
It feels cartoony, like it should be in Fortnite and not in Star Citizen. To me, but
Huh.
judgy.
ooh.
Yeah.
Judgy.
It doesn't seem
are we?
that bad to me,
Wow.
but
No.
Oh,
but all right. It's all Fortnitey now. Okay.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's see here. I can't remember what. These are just more of the targeting computers and MFT stuff. I do like how you can see the zones, like exactly where they're hitting with the guns and stuff. Now it's like it looks a lot better. Which shield are you impacting? How that's
Yep.
happening? Those type of things. So
But they
Yeah.
still don't have the new shields on the ships. When is that coming out?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So
I think they scrapped it with docking collars.
Yeah. A long time ago. No, I think they have it on some ships, but they haven't done it on all of them.
I haven't seen it on any ships. Have we seen it on any ships?
No,
Okay.
not in the game
the
yet.
new,
Yeah, not in game.
yeah, it's the new.
And that might.
Shields
It's
that
coming on
hug
with
the
2.0.
armor.
2.0. It all 2.0 fixes everything.
Yeah.
This blew my mind right here. I gotta freeze it right about here. I was like, I looked back up at this. I was like, wait a minute, that's the hammerhead.
Oh yeah, I
I
saw
was
that.
like, oh, that's so awesome because it's got almost like that Carrick glass floor.
Yes.
What
Yes,
you know what I
yes,
mean?
yes,
It's like, oh,
yes.
the view in the hammerhead for the cockpit's gonna be better than the Connie because you
No,
can
it's
see
good. No, of course we always do that, but you can only see down.
yeah. But I mean, you're
You can
gonna
only see down, right? You can't look up.
you got all these beautiful ranges of fire though, and you know you have all the turret gunners around the edges, so it's
Yeah.
going to be able to kind of orient your gunners where you want them to a lot easier.
And down is all you really care about when you're landing or going into planet services.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
like, yeah,
It'll be the only ship you can actually land without having to go into third-person view.
I'll still screw it up though somehow.
I want to see a bomber that's like a multi-crew bomber, kind of like what they intended the Retaliator to be, but it's a true like land-based bomber where it's meant to go in the entire floor to be translucent of the whole thing.
Oh,
Like,
that
like
would be
everybody
cool.
can see all
Yeah, yeah.
that would be amazing. Where it's like hard top against fighters and maybe have a couple auto turrets on top, but like all
Yeah.
the guns, all the Bob stuff is on the bottom, and you can see exactly
Yeah.
all that stuff would be so cool.
Should be doable. I mean, they're making working on airplanes now where there are no windows, but it's all LCD on the inside, and you can
Yep.
see everything. Yeah.
If I had my way, I would on the rework of the Redeemer, I would make it an air to ground gunship, and I would have the entire bottom of that thing just glassed and opened up to where it could see all that stuff for all the gunners, all the things, and that's its primary focus. Everything in the ground, like totally make it so it's totally inept against any fighter craft, but it just dominates against land vehicles and personnel. That would be really
You
cool.
know, as a captain on this ship, I want to sit. I don't want to sit up there. I want to sit in one of those render to texture spaces and see my ship in the middle, and then see all the ships around it.
Yeah.
And then I could direct people. Okay, there's a ship up top left or whatever, and then the gunner focuses on that. I want to run everything from one of those render texture maps.
I think that's what's going to happen in the Prowler. If you remember the Prowler, the troop transport, it has total, like, no windows in the front at all. It's totally sealed.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a total render to texture. You're going to just have radar floating around like little hover bits. That would be awesome to fly by.
Awesome.
And I want to see like a topography of the land. So you're like seeing yourself glide through, but you're not actually looking out the windows. That would be so trippy that you're like playing a little mini video game there on the thing to fly it. And anybody outside watching this is like, you're just like blind flying through the gut canyon stuff.
Yeah, it would be really cool, yeah, if you could have like almost like a radar-ish, like 3D, like hologram
radar flight, almost. It'd be amazing.
Well, as a captain, because like what you would be doing is you'd be looking at like the surroundings. You'd be like, look, this is these ships here. Target these ships. Do this, and I think that'd be really cool. Yeah.
And I want to see more command ships like that. Like we see the global structures, like on the Idris and stuff. Where it shows this is your radar, and you're gonna get that cool render to texture 3-dimensional view where you can see the fleet. You can see all your blue dots and the red dots, and you'll be able to see a 3-dimensional battle. I want to see that on some type of either map that's available in Outpost or some sort of land-based command vehicle where I can see the ground land and it looks like one of those mini maps we used to play in Warhammer 40K where you had the trees and the mountains and everything, and it looks exactly like that, a bunch of miniature stuff, and you can see the live action battle. As long as you had like a recon vehicle and satellite or something over it, that way you just feel like you're playing like a badass game of Axis and Allies or Risk or something. So it's like you see all these troops and you just see the battle unfold.
The more terrapins you have in the area scan, and the
better
your
that or ground-based radar or whatever. I think that would be so cool because just to be able to sit there as like a general or whatever and see the battle evolve.
Absolutely.
And then you're like making call-outs. All you're doing is clicking, and then your guys in the ground are seeing the pings, right? Like boop, like move once, like you're doing the whole thing. Like World War II, the guy's sitting over the actual model table moving ships and stuff, except you're doing that in a virtual environment with render texture would be dope.
Yeah, would be pretty cool.
That's what I want.
And we would definitely have that at that point in time.
Would we?
So good.
Sure.
You would think
absolutely.
so. We have 3-dimensional battlefields now.
Yes.
Like, you know, I mean, you think about what they look at when they look at like the Missile Command Center or something like that. You're seeing like this huge topograph of the world and you see ships move. Why not have like a ground-based one where you can see around the terrain for elevations? That'd be badass.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. And the Eclipse coming along, I really am excited about this ship. I just don't think it's going to have a good place in the universe right now.
Same as Retaliator, right?
Yeah. Except it fires one.
Only one?
Only one if you use the big
Well, how big?
It's a size 9,
right?
Yeah, I think it's size 9.
So wait, the Retaliator fires like 6 or like 4 or 6
It's a bomber multi-crew. This is a single-person fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really small.
Too.
Yeah. It has no guns either, I don't think. Does it have guns?
Okay.
I don't remember if it has guns or not. I don't think it. I think
you like this ship, but I hated it, so I didn't.
I love it. Yeah. I love it if it works in the stealth capability, what they talked about, because you can come up and one-shot something basically. That and a small squadron of would be amazing. Like for example, if you had like terrapins on the field or something, and you knew where the enemy terrapins were, you could come in dead silent and just blind your enemy with one volley.
I don't think you're not gonna one-shot a bigger ship, but you would be able to, like, if you had somebody take out the shields first, of course it'll.
You would take out a terrapin with that ship with one shot.
Yeah, definitely.
With torpedo that big, that thing is going so slow. All those small ships could just outrun it.
Well, they can right now. Have you ever fired it? Well, no, wait. Have you ever? I don't know about a terrapin.
An M50 could, and a Misk Razor can. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Those ships could definitely outrun, because I think the speed on those 9s. Well, again, these things will change, but those torpedoes are around. I think they're like 1100-ish or something. They go pretty fast.
They're just around 1K. Just like maybe a little bit older. Yeah. Right now, the speed is a little bit over 1K. So in some of the top-end fastest ships, you can easily outrun it.
Yeah. I've seen a Cutlass actually outrun one, but it might have been because it got confused.
Cutlass can go, is it 900? Can go 1K?
No, it's 1200. 1200, I think.
Yeah, see, I think most things, if you're going flat out, can outrun it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the bigger the torpedo, the slower it should go. And of course, the bigger the ships, the slower they go. So it's easier to hit the bigger ships, but
That makes perfect sense to me too. The thing is, the advantage you have with the Eclipse is you don't see it until it's too late, and it's not you're not firing from 12K out. You can fire from like a couple K away, and then it's like, oh crap, it's already here. By the time you react, that torpedo's already on you. So,
yeah, I'm just hoping that once they get the radar in, we can do like fake the radar out by having two ships like super close together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're bringing one ship in, and you're basically hiding behind it with one of those bombers, and they see your one ship and say, "Oh, you know, that's just a you know, whatever."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Eclipse just peels out from right behind it.
Yep.
Or just things like we're having a lead ship that has active radar and active scanning, right, going that everybody sees, but it's passing all of its data to passive ships that are hidden far away. You know what I mean? Like those kind of things are going to be really cool.
I like that. I also like if you get in a fleet fight, obviously the larger caps launch all their fighters and defenders, and you have this whole battle where the caps are on the outside and the fighters trying to mingle it up between them and stuff, and then you bring in your second squadron of Eclipses to like start to hurt the capitals while the fighters engage in their targets. Like, oh crap, we got Eclipses on the on scan. It's like, oh, now it's trouble time, and then all of a sudden, yeah,
that's why you'll have the hammerheads, of course, to defend the caps against torpedoes.
As long as you know they're there. That's the biggest thing. True. So that's the whole element. That Eclipse is going to be, if it doesn't utilize the stealth capability, will get knocked out of the sky quickly. It's a very slow turner. Yeah. It's got a decent straightaway, but it's supposed to turn very slow and all that stuff. So remaining undetected till the last possible moment to fire it's key. Because once you deploy the torpedo, you're pretty much done. You have to go rearm. You're not going to be able to do much. So I thought on this gunplay here, on the P4AR, I thought the audio on it was really interesting because it sounded a lot different, but they were just showing the dynamics of like distance play and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's just bassier and doled out when it's far away, and sharper and crisp and higher toned as it comes closer. But I think that's normal-ish.
I guess it just seems different sound to me.
Although what I was curious about was less to do with how it sounds far away or up close, but how does it? They also tone it down? Because they already do that now in like. Star Marine and other things, but how granular does it take atmospheric pressure into account as well? You know what I mean? Like, and how would it sound like that, like far away in a low atmosphere density versus like?
That's interesting. I do want to play the audio though, because we've played a lot of Star Marine lately, and it sounds a lot different to me than what I've heard there. And it could be, again, like you said, the environment and those type of aspects. So I'm really excited to have that type of gunplay on the planetary service. But let's listen to this real quick. The difference. Sorry about your ears to begin with.
An environment.
But yeah, so
bullet spray is all over the place, though.
Well, yeah, but he's not. He's also is ADSing, but he's just kind of like ripping the trigger too, and all that stuff. Yeah. So, what's up, bud? I'm hungry. You're hungry now. Of course you are, because it's way late.
Mental weapon.
It's like it's about the time to do so. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can see he's just spraying. He's not even ADSing in that aspect.
No.
But it just sounded like you were saying really bassy. I think my son's impersonating me behind me.
There was more trouble up close for sure.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we discussed briefly in my chat was whether, because it almost sounded like it was discrete sounds at different distances, and the question was whether it was going to be like discrete sounds within bands of distance, or whether there was going to be some kind of interpolation in between. So I hope smooth transition.
I hope they're not discrete sounds, because they've talked a lot about having this what is it? What's the word? Diegetic or I can't remember, but diegetic. I guess I don't know what it is when you have like actual diegetic. Okay. I think. They've talked. Yeah, I think they've talked a lot about having sound basically processed in the environment that you're in. So you're gonna have some sort of cool audio processor, right? Yep. You're never, if you're doing that, but then all of a sudden you're using unique, distinct sound effects for different ranges, then you've all of a sudden moved away from diegetic sound altogether. So
Yep.
I hope that they're actually using some sort of post-processing of one sound effect and then kind of manipulating it based on the environment. But I don't know.
I hope so too.
yeah, I hope
because
so
once
too.
you get in the canyons, I hope to hear the echoes in the canyons too.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I've gone hunting a lot when I was a kid, and I don't know, like, from my memory, like when I hear gunshots far away, they don't sound way bassier. I'm not gonna pick this apart too much, but I remember you can still hear like that higher, like
When it
pitch.
cracks, it cracks.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so
yeah,
that's
I
what
don't know.
I just thought it sounded interesting. You know, it sounds cool,
Yeah.
but it didn't sound anything like, you know, especially in my personal weapons experience that I've ever heard like that
Yeah.
with the dynamics coming closer. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? This is cool. They're like, oh yeah, we almost got the Van Duel where they're rendered so you can like do their faces, face rigging for it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's like you can't play a Van Duel in the game, but yeah, at least you can face rig it.
Wait, what was that? Sorry, I don't want to distract too much, but that Andy Serkis video that came out a while back where he was like doing acting and then they overlaid it with like the visual face changes for an alien or whatever.
Mhm.
That wasn't anything with SC, right? That alien was just like completely
No, I
unrelated.
think that was just face rig.
Okay, because it looked like it was like something that should be in SC that they borrowed from, but I wasn't sure. So okay,
Now, face rig's been out forever.
yeah.
They've made a
Yeah.
lot of improvements on it and stuff, but it's been around
Yep.
for a while. All right, let's see here. Let's go on. Oh yeah,
Talking about animations.
animations. Talking about female animations,
Female character,
like
yep.
female
Hey.
character, because you know a female character when she's rubbing the rim of her glass is way different than a masculine rubbing the rim of their glass.
Of their glass.
Yes, so
1 second.
yeah.
Well, and all those, objects too go to the today's.
Wrong animation.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely. Hey, Bobby, is that your picture on his T-shirt?
No.
No. Okay, just wanted to make sure. No, but I actually like the personality on some of these new animations and stuff. You see, like the guy, and they're talking about some of the mission stuff. Like, even though it's not a high-res model face, even though it's just the mannerisms, you capture all that in the forehead and the eyes, all that stuff. I really like it. I really like what they're doing there. I think it's going to be really fun. And again, I'm not a mission grinder, but I think it's going to be fun to kind of at least first looks on a lot of these guys to get in there and mess with it and do that stuff. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we interact with our own NPCs, like their own crew and those type of things, to see if we get those type of sequences where the dialogue goes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's like repetitive, I think it's still going to be really fun.
A lot of subsumption work to do before we get to do that.
There is.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get my son a snack. So what discussion topic I'd like you guys to hammer out while I have to step away is what this week was the most important thing you saw with the Mobiglass? Because if Mobiglass is just a review, what is the thing you like the most and least about the Mobiglass interface right now in 3.1?
0.1.
Yeah, 0.1.
Okay.
So, is there anything you've found really good? Is there anything that's been really bad?
The new item manager is awesome compared to what it was in 3.0. I mean, changing and equipping and outfitting. I used to purposely never change weapons or change gear or anything. I just avoided it like the plague because it was just so difficult.
Yeah.
But now I just go in. I'm like, oh, I want that equipped. I want that equipped. Oh, cool. It updates instantly. I don't have to click on it like 5 times or hold the mouse down.
Yeah.
I don't have to like do the whole the accordion windows. I just hit that and I hit save and good to go. So I'm super happy with that.
Yeah, that's a lot better. I haven't done anything with the ship equipment yet, but definitely with personal equipment I have, and that's a lot better. I'm glad to see that they have gotten rid of the whole arm movement thing where you're like chasing the buttons around the screen while your arm is moving while you're breathing, because that was kind of ridiculous. I think the fact that they're actually filling up the entire screen now with the interface is great, so you can actually see what the hell you're looking at. The text is much more readable. It's just improvements all around. It's way better. There's a bug right now that where sometimes it's bigger than your screen.
Yeah, I hate that. That happens like when you're sitting in a vehicle or something.
Yes, yep, that happens a lot.
But I
Other
haven't
than
checked
that,
in
it's great.
3. I haven't checked in 3.1.1. Supposedly, I thought there was a patch note that talked about fixing that.
I think that you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. But I haven't tested that either yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a vast improvement. And it looks like from what they've shown that it's going to get even better.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I need to see some definite improvements because I don't know what it is with me, but every time I pull it up, there's like a super bright white background, and I can't read half the shit on it. So they need to.
I think that's improved already. I think the whole screen just darkens when you bring it up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still so bright for me that I can't even see some of the stuff. So,
huh. To try it over at yellow.
Improvements on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some color would be nice to it because it seems pretty bland if you look at the colors scheme.
I don't mind it. It's supposed to be a hologram, so it's kind of dulled a little bit, I think. But I like the red text. The text, like you see in the video, that's gone past already. But the text is like red when it's like the unequip button. Yep. Like that kind of stuff is much more vibrant than it was.
Oh yeah, way more. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I just think with it being in the future, they could add some more color to it, especially on the graphs.
The future?
They're very into their blue and white color scheme right now.
Yeah, they're very retro on how they're designing the future, though. You know what I mean? Like it's Star Warsy. They're not building the future that we're all gonna have. We have no idea what that'll be, but they're building the Star Warsy future, which is like kind of a I don't want to say steampunk because it's not, but it's kind of like this idea of retro technology to like create a future like society. I feel
it's what we thought the future was going to be back in the 70s before we had OLED screens and smartphones. Yeah. I agree. And now we can talk about what kind of food is Mitt getting his kid right now? Is he thinking like what's a good midnight snack? So I'm thinking it's going to be something that is readily available and you have a lot of in the house when you have kids.
Yep.
So it's going to be some type of
peanut butter.
Nope, I'm thinking chips of some kind. Either like veggie straws or something like that.
No veggie straws.
No veggie straws. Okay.
Well, what's a veggie straw?
So they're actually like their little straw, like square. Imagine a square straw. So it's a square straw shaped chip made out of vegetables that are not necessarily potatoes.
But you actually drink through it?
No, you eat them.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of like they're the healthier alternative. But you can't go wrong with goldfish. So and those come in all kinds of flavors these days. So I'm gonna say goldfish.
I always talk about. Now I'm hungry. I gotta go to the kitchen. All right. While I'm gone, you two. Just kidding.
This show is sponsored by.
Giveaway for winner.
No.
But going back to. Let me jump back just a bit to the props for ships. There'll be times when I'm just cruising around scanning and stuff. I definitely want the music player in the ship, and it'd be cool. I mean, I could jump to my other computer screen and play some YouTube music, but I remember in Battlefield Vietnam, I don't know if you ever played that, it had a radio that you could put your own, play music on and stuff. That was badass. So
yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that feature in the ship. And yeah, the little bobbleheads and stuff, I don't care too much about. I got my little, I can get one of those to put on my ship. But
yeah, I didn't chime in on that either. But I actually do kind of like the ship customization because I'm kind of with Mitt, where I don't imagine spending a lot of time in my hangar, and so I think customizing the cockpit would be the only way to really be able to have like a couple of those items around you. Like maybe your kazoo, if you want, you could have that in your cockpit with you.
Yeah.
And so I think it's kind of cool. I mean, you don't have to do it, but I do think it's a cool feature, though.
What I'm not looking forward to, and what I hate about the hangar module is they force you to place your decorations at certain spots, and I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like
know
that
if
either.
You guys ever played Star Wars Galaxies? Remember that game?
Of course, I love that game. Well, I never played it really. All I did was
I did play it,
all I did play it, but all I did was get enough money to get to Endor and then go hiking through Endor and kind of camp around. And that's all I really did in the game.
Okay.
Well, it was like the first game to have player cities, and you had your own buildings and stuff like that.
But they were
You could
horrible
basically
cities.
take any object and just move it around and place it anywhere.
Yeah.
And people used to decorate everything with these things, and they looked amazing. And
Really?
I hope they do end up doing that in Star Citizen, so I can take one of my trophies and just throw it on my desk where I want it, not where there's an item port that you have to plug it into. I hate that.
Yeah, it seemed like a way long time ago. Remember Grabby Hands, when they were talking about Grabby Hands, and
Crappy hands.
it seemed like the system that they were working on then did allow you to place items kind of almost anywhere, and that it would track that. So yeah, I don't know. Something happened along the way there, so I hope they find a way to do that, because I agree. I would want to be able to put my fish tank wherever the heck I want, not necessarily on the spot they designate is a fish tank port.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
same thing goes with my hangar too. I mean, they're redoing these hangars. You should just be able to put your stuff wherever you want.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be great.
I really want to
Yeah.
put my CitizenCon trophies
Oh, he's
in my
back.
fish tank.
He's back.
Yeah, there you go. That would be good.
Yeah.
Question:
Right,
we all want to know what did you get
Yes.
your kid for food?
Well, I took him. I don't know if you guys have Jose Peppers over by you or whatever.
No, it
It's
sounds
a-
like I wish I did though.
it's a
Is it
Tex
veggie straw?
It's a Tex-Mex type place anyway. But so we had he ordered a quesadilla from there, so I got him that, and he got his
Wait.
yogurt and he got ice cream.
You went all the way to a restaurant?
No, we had it.
Oh.
We had it earlier, and he didn't finish his food, so he just had leftovers.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
He just naturally likes to eat late at night.
Yeah,
I don't know where he gets that
good.
from.
yeah.
We had no idea.
Eating late in his room playing video games way past his bedtime. I don't know.
Huh.
You know, but it's a weekend, so he did his homework, so I don't care. You can stay up
Yep.
late.
Yep.
You get your work done. That's your bonus.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so you were talking about item customization, like placement and stuff like that, grabby hands, all that stuff. I
Yep.
think,
Yep.
well, you know, me and Toy talked about this a long time ago with the grabby hands, and I feel like grabby hands shifted what it was from what it was going to be a long time ago, because it was like basically a tech experiment
Yeah, it was.
where it was all, they're also making it like VR hands, right? Originally, like where you could play stuff and grab guns and like spin them around and do weird. I mean, now it's very, hey, it's more inner thought, and that's where it shifted the dynamic of what it was, where you choose to do stuff and it does the animation to do that item instead of you actually
Yeah.
physically doing it, which makes more sense because it's really hard. Then it'd turn into a VR game if you were trying to actually move your hand and do these
Place
type of
everything?
things. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you need
Right.
you need that type of like lock into a grid type of element, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to this like item port approach for everything though. It's like you can't place anything anywhere without having a port or something to hold that item. You know what I mean?
feel
Which
like
is kind
if they get the
troubling, but-
grids right, if they get the grids right where everything's griddable, right? Like
Yeah.
table services and all that, it shouldn't matter. You should be able to just place
Yeah.
stuff where you want, but it's just whether they're going to go that direction or not.
That's what I hope they do. But right now
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like they don't talk about it like that. They talk
No,
about these like, oh,
but the hangers
you're
are
gonna have these-
very always been uninteresting to me because of that. Because even though they give you a lot of
Yeah.
options, it's a socket type thing. It's like you can put your trophy in one of 4 sockets and choose which one. It's
Yeah.
like, you know,
It's annoying. I wanna have like a physical space and say, hey, this item takes up this much square area on the desk, and you can just kind of push it around.
I want to be able to grab
anywhere, you know?
a can of spray paint and paint the walls.
Yeah,
Do
Exactly.
stuff like that and make it mine. You know what I mean?
graffiti citizen.
If I get an argument with Toy and I shot a hole in the wall behind him in my hangar, I want it to be there still. But
Persistent,
most games
yeah.
just don't do that. I mean, that's just the reality, you know.
It's a technical, yeah.
Right now,
issue
we can't
probably,
get Toy to come in my hangar because it's not possible. So we haven't gotten that phase of things yet. So I think they
Yeah.
probably need to get there before we worry about the other.
but- Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
They got a long ways to go because that was another thing I did mention earlier. I was playing on my stupid reclaimer and looking in the mirrors.
Yep.
If you ever looked in the mirrors in your
Yep.
reclaimer,
You don't exist. You're
You're
a
a vampire.
well, they're just a picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're not even a reflection. They're like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're a placeholder. That's because they just don't have that. I don't know what they're gonna do.
I-
Are they gonna do render? They might do render to texture for the mirrors because most games don't do that. Most games do mirrors by actually, I think, double rendering the scene that you're in.
Yes.
Whereas here they don't want to do that
because reflections are very costly in games,
Yeah.
right? Reflections and all that cool dynamic lighting and reflections and stuff.
Yeah.
Just it's hard to do, and it costs a lot of resources apparently to do.
Yeah.
Whereas render to texture is basically a double image like what they do in a mirror anyway, but it's just doing it a different way, right? It's a volumetric instead of a flat 2D object. So they've taken that to next level.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That'll
it'll be interesting. I like the Bill Cosby outfit that they dress this guy up in here. It's like, you got the ball cap, the sweater, the little V-neck underneath. I'm like, I don't feel like it's very spacey, but you know.
But if they go to what is it? I don't know if it work, but like I guess the new graphic cards that do like actual reflective ray tracing, I have no idea how those behave or how efficient they are when it comes to mirrors. But that would be interesting.
The problem is, what's the step down from that? Because here's something you got to answer yourself every time as when they're doing this game. Every element that they push at next level that we love, because we'll go out and buy the newest, latest shit, it eliminates a whole field of people that are going to be able to experience that. So at what point is it worth it versus, like, do we have a dumbed down level of that? Because
there will have to be, but all games have that. And two, let's not pretend this game is being made for the everyman. Like,
well, I know, but what you're talking about isn't even the everyman. It's probably the top 3% of us gamers that buy like the latest greatest thing. That's like true. You know, most things in PC gaming, if you can cover 20% of gamers, you're considered doing really high end crap.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of the people are trying to bring out their Commodore 64 and play the game and bitching about it. So, you know.
Yeah.
So
those new graphics card that you're talking about that NVIDIA just announced or whatever, they'd have to rewrite the whole game anyways to make that work. So,
but they're getting really good at rewriting the game. So I mean, at this point, it'd probably take a quarter of the time to rewrite the game. It's like, dude, we've done it 3 times. We can do it again. No,
yeah,
pretty much.
Oh, exactly.
There's been a lot of tonight.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I agree. I think it's good to push boundaries, and I'm not saying it would be impossible anyway, because what they just have to figure is what's a step down from that. For example, say you're pushing a high-end poly rendered texture for somebody that has the computer capacity and the hardware to do that. The guy who they say, okay, your minimum requirement is a quad-core processor and 16 gigs of RAM. What's that guy going to see? Because it's not going to be that same image. He's got to see something less than that. And I don't know what the step down from that is, because that requires so much hardware and so much tech and these new cards to do some of that high-end race tracing and those things. The step down, they'd have to have 2 systems almost going.
Yeah,
they'd have to have 2 systems going, so the guy who's running on low could see something, and the guy who's running on high see something else. So I think sometimes even when you want to go high fidelity, there has to be a middle ground.
Yeah.
Because
I think when they go, I think it's the person who doesn't have the really amazing new card will just get a piece of text on the window saying, "Your reflection here, please upgrade."
Yeah. If you'd like to see this next image, please spend an extra $650 for your upgraded card. You know,
placeholder mirror.
Yeah. Swipe credit card, and we'll send directly the CIG version of this amazing graphics card directly to your door. No.
With a free ship though, the graphics card will come with an extra
free ship that really annoys the entire community. Yes, that'd be great.
It's unique to the graphics card. It's like the ship will be like pure like reflective chrome that like reflects.
Oh, I wish. I wish. You know what? What do you know? What I picture?
Car?
Dude, fly the navigator ship. The one's like pure ball of like this reflective mirror, and it can shape and morph into anything. I'd just make it every time somebody came at me. I'd go to the sun. I'd make it a flat panel and just shine them right in the face.
Ooh.
Just blind everybody. It'd be awesome.
Oh, many good things.
I had a buddy who painted his car like mirror, chrome, and the police confiscated his car. It was undrivable. You couldn't drive it in the sun. It's funny. Stupid stuff we do when we're like 17 years old. What they were talking about, a lot of the systems that came online and whatnot. What do you guys think? Not talking about what they're talking about right here with the Mobiglass. What do you guys think about the importance of one of the things they touched on here of having to physically go to the spaceport and as opposed to sitting in your ship and being able to do everything off the Mobiglass? Do you agree with that aspect? Do you think there's many cases in which you should be able to just handle certain tasks from the Mobiglass completely without having to interface with different ports and areas?
Some tasks you should, but like they do have to make a game, right? Like it doesn't make sense. Like if you could do everything, like they said, if everything from your Mobiglass, why would you ever fly anywhere? I could buy cargo from here, hire somebody to go pick it up, have him haul it to somewhere else, and maybe that is gameplay they're going to allow. But it's just like, are you really playing Star Citizen at that point, or are you just like hanging out and looking at your Mobiglass Citizen? I don't know.
That's one of the issues we had in EVE Online, you know, where everybody would sit in the system called JITA, which is a main trade hub there. It's high in security, very, very friendly to, well, it tended to be friendly to new players, but it wasn't because a lot of people got ganked there because they carry like billions of dollars stuff in a cheap ship. But there was guys who are market warriors, and I used to do that passively too when I couldn't play. You'd sit there and just make trades all day. It's like you're a stockbroker. You wouldn't undock from the station. You would sit there and just trade stuff and put it back on the market higher and just flip stuff all day and make money. And you could literally do that. But what they did to restrict it, so they allowed that gameplay, so JIT was always really busy and laggy because of that, was the universe is divided up in regions, which might encompass several solar systems or whatever, but you couldn't see across regions to trade. You could only trade within region with remote orders and stuff like that, and make contracts and stuff for people to haul, but you couldn't like set a contract that would go to this other region of space. So there's some where it facilitated both types of gameplay. Still was overall, I knew people that never left Jeddah for like 2 years, and that's all they did was come on and play stockbroker.
And I don't entirely mind that, because I mean, at the end of the day, if that's what people want to do, it does create a richer universe. Just to know, hey, there's a planet that is a stockbroker planet. That's the Wall Street of Star Citizen. You know what I mean? Like that adds lore.
Nobody
and value.
moves. Everybody weighs 500 pounds, and they're projecting their computer.
Yeah. I mean, that's lore. That's good. That's value. If people want to play that, but I don't know. But I think the thing is like you're not gonna just go in to buy your stuff. Like eventually, I thought you're gonna have to load the cargo, right? It's gonna be physicalized. You have to move
unless
it,
you hire somebody to do it or something. I would think it would have to be some element, or you'd pay the dock crew to handle it, and you'd go off and explore the city while it's loading.
Like an extra fee, they load it for you. For
stuff like that.
I think they just, I think they want to. I think they're building a lot of time building all these environments, these places that you're going to go visit, and I think they just want you to go see the work that they've done.
I agree.
So get out of your seat, go look at it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, my feeling, excuse me, kind of is that you know, I mean, I don't know. There's some people who seem like they really want to just kind of button click their way through this whole thing, where they just want to kind of, and I don't know that, and granted, my opinion is I think that kind of cheapens the experience. But on the other hand, you know, who am I to tell people how they should play? And I think I'm nobody. So I think people should probably in the end be allowed to play it kind of how they want to play it, and it probably won't have much impact on anything.
Yep. And the other reason I would argue I don't mind some of that gameplay is there's a couple different things. And even online, it's an entire player-controlled economy, right? I mean, it's all like that's not the case here. Here, the top elite 1% will always be NPCs. If you make a quadrillion UEC, they're going to have an NPC that has more money than you. So you will never dominate the entire market. You won't be the richest man in the entire game ever. They want to do that so that way they can maintain control of markets and all those things. So, but let's say like, for example, Board Gamer, he wants to be an economic baron of industry, a titan of industry, and all these type of things with trades and all that stuff. For the guy who's doing the visceral, I'm just starting the game, I just bought my first cargo ship, I want to run from A to B. Yes, going to those ports and doing those things makes sense. But for the guy who's like, I do 500-600 trades a day, maybe getting that for your ship is like, you know, oh my God, this is, you know, it's like I do it repetitively. This is what I love to do, but I'm trying to min max. And that's what you run into is the min maxers doing those type of things. And they're trying to find the most efficient way to move the most product or sell the most product or do whatever they're trying to do in those ways. So
I think there's other ways to force people out of their ships, though. You don't have to do it by, oh, you have to go buy and sell inside. But what you do is you say, look, there's like buffs you're going to get by going inside and drinking a coffee. Or, you know what I mean?
Better trade deals by interacting with a person directly than being over the phone, you know? So
maybe the really good trades are not going to be like you can accept it over the device. Maybe
you have to negotiate in person.
He's going to like, he's going to look you in the eyes and decide whether he likes you or doesn't like you or something. Yeah, so
that'd be cool. I'd be cool with that too. I want to see that variety of gameplay there to a certain degree. Again, I don't want anybody to remote play the game. I just don't think, because the problem I have with it isn't the fact that they're trying to min-max or any of those things. I think without some element of risk, you shouldn't get a major reward. It's just the way it works. So, and if you never leave your station or you never leave the dock, you never risk anything.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's like we're building a game, or not me. I'm not building it, I guess, but they're building a game.
Yeah.
That is rich and powerful, right? And it's like if all we wanted to do was build a game that you just sit at a desk and trade over a kiosk all day, that would have been a lot simpler game to build, I think. So.
Yep. Very true. Very, very true. So, guys, again, we got a little bit more we're going to go over here, but I want to encourage you on a couple things. First off, if you have questions for anybody in the cast, all you have to do is type !questions in chat, and that will take you over to our forum where you can ask questions, and we will answer those during the second portion of the show today. So you can, ask anything about Star Citizen, anything about us as individuals, or any of those type of things, or as a group. And we will do our best to answer those questions for you, as long as they're appropriate for Twitch and don't violate the TOS. Otherwise, if they are, we'll probably either A, ignore them, or make fun of them, or something else. That's generally what we do here. We don't answer as CIG devs. We leave that for the captains at the captain's table. They do those sort of things. But we just try to give you our honest opinions, which is not necessarily representative of CIG in any way. It's just our opinions in our own form, in our own way, the way the SpaceBros do. Also, make sure that you are entering for the super duper amazing 1080i.
1080 Ti, yep.
Yep. All you have to do is type !monthly in chat. If you haven't entered for this yet, it will take you over to the website and the giveaway pages so you can see all the goodness there and get involved with that. So please do so. Multiple ways to enter there, get involved. And there is several votes on my Twitter on what they want us to do next month. Last I checked, Star Citizen stuff and computer hardware was dead heat. Dead heat at 38% each. Gift cards were the least amount voted on, which still blows my mind. I thought people would go after gift cards, but hey, I'm down for whatever, We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do some sort of combo mashup or something. But yeah, make sure to get in that, get involved with all those things, and we'll address that here in a minute. But first, I want to hear about what's everybody's weekend plans. What's everybody going to be streaming? The stream times, all that stuff. When can people catch you? And if there's anything special events or anything you're going to have going on in your channels.
We're not going to talk about Reverse the Verse?
Oh, no. We're going to skip all that shit.
Okay.
No.
Right.
Is there something about Reverse the Verse you really want to talk about?
No. Except I did want to...
You can. I mean...
No. I did want to talk briefly about one thing, but we don't have to talk about it.
No, go for it.
Okay, real quick.
We got time.
It was just relating to the... what do they call them? Prototypes?
Props?
No, props. Thank you.
The props. Okay.
It was all about props.
It was all about props.
Wow.
But the one thing that I kind of was curious about or interested in was one. They were talking about how they're going to make all the props as destructible as possible or as physicalized as possible, right? It's like they behave and do what you want. That's interesting. That's cool. But I was curious if they're all going to be physicalized and portable and movable. And this is something they didn't answer on the show. And maybe it's something we can submit as a question or whatever for calling all devs. But do we know, or have they talked about, are any of the props that, like, let's say there's a watermelon or there's something, right, sitting on a table, are you going to be able to pick it up and like carry it to your ship or your hangar and set it down, and will it physically persist? Do we know? Are they talked about that at all?
We know they said in that they wanted us to be able to shoot them. But I don't know if we're going to be able to move them physically around and place them wherever we want. I would hope you could, but who knows? I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, that's just the one question I had.
We can pick a coffee cup out of, a station, put it on our ship, and then it just stays there forever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Well, there's one more thing on your subject I do want to address, because that brought up a thought to mind. Because the one thing, and we've talked about this on a previous show, I like how they make the spaces look lived in. We talked about this with the Reclaimer, right? I like how they make the spaces look lived in to kind of give it, energy and all that stuff. But I said even back then, if I buy a brand new ship, I want it to be brand new. I don't really necessarily like the fact they kind of throw trash all over it and all that stuff. I want it to kind of degrade over time. Are we going to be able to clean up and interact with that stuff? Yeah. I mean, or is it always going to be like, oh, here's the half-eaten sandwich and, here's all that stuff? Because, I mean, to me, I get that, but I think it takes away from the immersion at some point, because if you're in everybody's Reclaimer and everybody's got like a turkey club sandwich on the table, or everybody's like missing a door on something, or everybody's got the exact same poop stains on the side of the toilet or whatever, it's kind of like, okay, I'd rather have it all be clean than all be messy. That's just
Yeah,
me.
that's true.
But
I get that. And OCD people will
I
freak
agree.
out if they have to play the game.
I think I've gotten a lot better over the last 3 years about my OCD, but that bothers me and triggers me a little bit. I get that little twitch under this eye. And I'm like, it's the same thing. It's, and for right now, it's fine. I'm not saying it's something they need to dump resources in now, but is the plan to eventually have that different stuff? And if they still plan on degrading things like they're talking about over time without repair and all those, if your ship already looks like a shithole, what's it degrade to?
Yeah.
I mean, is it a flaming shithole then? I mean, does it just catch on fire? Is that fire effects?
Yeah,
And you
I don't know.
got the coffee's on fire on the table. You know, the coffee mugs were burning styrofoam. I don't know. I'm curious about those things. So, I mean, I get what they're going for, but those has been around for a while. Like most of us here, it's kind of like, I know when I'm on an industrial ship, all industrials are slobs, right? I mean, that's I guess the way what they're saying. So, yeah. But that's it. But prop show was good. Again, I feel like I've seen that episode though before. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it was a little bit filler overall, but again, you can't always have steak dinner, right? So
yeah, that, and again, we always have to remember there's a lot of people, just like when you started playing the game a lot more recently, right? Even though you've backed from the beginning longer than most all of us. There's a lot of new people who have come into the game over the last 6 months or year that have not seen all those episodes of stuff. They don't go back and watch all the videos, and a lot of these videos, to me, even though it's repetitive, is not repetitive to somebody else. So,
yeah,
always important.
No, that's true.
All right.
True.
So we're going to start with Scorpion. When are you streaming next? Where can people find you at? All that are goodness. Yada, yada.
Next stream time is going to be 9 a.m. tomorrow. Oh, no, wait, 9 a.m. today. Later on, roughly 8 hours and 20 minutes from now, I'll be streaming. However, I should be fine because I slept earlier a couple of times. So it should be fine. So it'll be Star Citizen Saturday for me. Pretty good long Star Citizen stream. It'll be all about 3.1.1, which is live now. So I'll do various things in there, kind of try and show a good overall view of what you can do in the game. Probably do some Arena Commander 2 and stuff like that. And, probably give away, do a raffle for some SpaceBro giveaway codes, stuff like that.
Cool.
And then I'll stream Sunday morning again as well. And I'm on travel all next week, Monday through Friday. So there'll be no streams whatsoever during that time. And, so that's kind of the plan right now. So it should be
lots of hot Twitter action, right?
Sure. Yes, I'll be tweeting. You betcha. Well,
tweeting out codes randomly, making sure you're socially active.
I definitely will be socially active. Yes. Not
Mitauchi the slave driver.
No. Yes, I will be. Yes.
Tweet a day keeps Mitauchi away. I'll just say that, huh?
I'm gonna tweet more than I've ever tweeted before in my life. Yes.
Well, that will be a very low bar for your cross. Will be good. All right.
That is very true.
So be sure to catch Scorpion later today or / tomorrow, depending what time zone you're in.
Yes.
About 8 hours from now. So make sure to bookmark, follow his channel, do all those good things, and give him some love. Toy, your machine's back together with duct tape and glue in all its glory. When are we going to see you streaming next, and what are you going to be streaming? What's going on?
I will probably stream a bit tomorrow.
Okay.
I probably get back on Star Citizen and hopefully it's stable enough because I have a lot of friends that want to see the new Reclaimer, so I want to show it off a bit.
There you go.
So
nice.
I'll be getting back on there and doing some of that and playing some other games too. There's a couple new games coming out, I think next week, that we'll be streaming. So
okay, cool deal. Well, guys, make sure you all tune into Toy. Encourage him to play Star Citizen, and if he logs off Star Citizen, just immediately leave his channel and be like, "God, there's not enough Star Citizen here."
Hey,
but no, follow him.
Say
give
it
him some
again.
love.
Star Citizen is my anchor game. I may not play it more than everything else, but it's still my anchor game. So
Okay.
It's his anchor game because he's a super secret tester. You just never see him play it. That's the way it works.
I just can't show you what I play.
There you
most
go.
Of the time.
There you go. All right, be sure to check out Toy then, guys. And The Few, when are we going to see you streaming next? What are you going to be
tomorrow?
streaming? I already know you're going to be streaming, but I have to ask.
I know you do. Yeah. No, so I'm going to be streaming tomorrow/today, right after Scorpion. So check out Scorpion. Then after he's done, come check out my stream, and that's of course Toy streaming, and then go check out Toy. But I'm going to be doing a first-time event. We'll see how successful it is. It may fail miserably, but it's going to be called Escape the Pit. Many people are going to take cyclones. We're all going to go in the pit at Levski. Some people have been able to get out quite quickly, but it's going to be a mosh pit, hopefully. Some people are going to make it out. There might be a little bit of a rally thing going on, so it'll be fun. And then we might get up to other things depending on server performance and how the day goes. There'll be some giveaways. I'll be doing at least one cyclone giveaway in chat and one starter pack. If you don't know the game yet, it's a good way to get into it. So
Absolutely.
Come check it out.
Cool.
And that's at 11:30-ish to noon EST tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, so guys, make sure you're also following the few. I know all of you are out there, but if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube or whatever, check all these guys out on their various channels. They're posted up not only on the screen, but in the chats if you can see those. So make sure you're giving all these guys some love. And extra opportunities to not earn their local giveaways in their channel, but also on some of the other things like the graphics card and all the other things we like to do every month. So do those things. I myself will probably be streaming tomorrow at, I got to figure out what time though, because I do have to go, I got to help my dad out again in the morning. But in the afternoon, I'll be streaming. I might even show up to like check out the rally over on the Fuse channel, but we'll see what's up with that. But definitely going to be playing tomorrow. Star Citizen, definitely doing some Star Marine. We've had some really good fun with Star Marine over the last couple of days, being able to get some ad hoc groups together, not only doing the squad play, but if we get more than 4 or 5 in, then we go play Elimination, which has nobody in it still. 60 frames all day. Very enjoyable to play. Still got some hitching, some buggy stuff, but more playable than it was in 3.0. I feel like it's really coming along. I think a few more alterations and stuff, and it'll be there. If I can shake the mashed potatoes off my shoes when I'm running around, it'll be
lighter
perfect.
Armor, you're walking around like cement shoes.
But if you like sit there and sneeze on somebody in light armor, they fall over dead instantly. So I mean, there's a scale to be had there. So it's not impossible to play that way, but I think it's really good. So yeah. Good stuff. So we'll be doing that Sunday. It depends. I was going to talk to the few actually, and some of the other guys to see. We might be doing we might bring back the Stream Theory for an episode for this month. We haven't done anything like that, and just do a night ad hoc conversation about streaming and all that stuff with some guys. So we'll see who wants to get involved with that. We haven't done one this month. Yeah, just kind of casual and keep it real. And then next week we will be doing some other promotional things coming out, and hopefully I'll have some special announcements for everybody in the community. So that'd be kind of cool. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. Other than that,
see they're going to answer
what?
One of my questions on Monday.
No, I didn't. What question was it?
If they're going to allow you to like rent a place on that planet with all the city.
Oh, the ArcCorp City thing?
ArcCorp, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I've been saying that forever. They need to put that in there.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll do it on their first.
They'll probably say soon,
release.
TM. We'll do it later on. It'd be great.
We'll get to it. Maybe eventually.
But it's cool. It's still cool to have your question asked and answered. That's neat. So, it shows they go through the community and they do that stuff. And guys, I encourage you, if you have questions, especially something that you think you either have a lot of other people interested in, get on Calling All Devs thread up on Spectrum. Go in there. It's under announcements, Calling All Dev stuff, and you can get it posted. And then advocate for upvotes on it, and they will ask those questions. Disco's very good about getting those things in there. And not only that, he really makes sure he captures the spirit of your question. Whereas in previous years, some of the questions asked get skewed or misread. Disco has been very interfaced with the community to kind of know what you're trying to say or get. And just make sure to keep them single sentence questions. Don't write a paragraph or it will get ignored, and follow the rules and regs on that. But it's really cool. It's really interesting. We've had over 4 or 5 questions asked from our channel so far. So it's been really good. I need to put new ones up, actually. All right. Additionally, tonight we are going to give away one 500-point key code, and I'm going to go ahead and start that keyword raffle right now. It's exclamation mark 1080 Ti in chat. So make sure to get in there. I know it's a little bit different than what we normally do. Usually we do Space Bros, but that's why I have it set up there. So that's what we're going for. And then we're going to bounce over to the questions and start asking your questions to this wonderful, amazing cast. There's one other thing I want to talk about. Oh yeah, CitizenCon. We'll probably have something from the SpaceBro community about CitizenCon here, hopefully soon. I know the announcement's imminent, according to Chris Roberts, right on ATV.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm estimating next week, end of next week, I think.
that's what I'm thinking. I've heard from several sources at CIG. They're just same thing Chris said. They're waiting on the paperwork. They're doing those type of things, and we'll have announcements there. I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed. I can't say more than that on the air, but I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed about it. So I think we're going to be good, and I think we're going to have fun, and I think we're all going to be able to come down there and party it up. And I still want to have a barbecue. I think it'd be awesome to have like a barbecue. We'll get some Texas barbecue, some Kansas City barbecue going on, and just do a barbecue somewhere down there. It'd be fun.
That would be good.
Yeah,
That'd be real good.
Kansas City barbecue's best barbecue, by the way.
And sweet tea.
Oh, dude, sweet. Hey, I'm drinking green tea right now, actually. So
That's pretty good. But green in Texas,
sweet tea in Texas is really good. Actually, sweet tea in Atlanta is pretty good too. When I was in Georgia,
it's not bad there. But in Texas, they take that shit seriously. So I lived in Texas for a little while, and like we used to go to this place for lunch. They didn't even ask. Like you sat down, you got sweet tea.
Yeah.
That was it. No water, no nothing. Sweet tea.
yeah.
It was awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
down with
Applebee's
sweet
barbecue
tea.
place.
You won't get any argument from me with that. I need to drink
There's only
less
one
sweet
thing
tea.
I'm drinking in Texas.
Oh, my
There you go.
yeah,
Cuervo Especial. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
yeah. You
Yeah.
definitely don't want me doing tequila shots. My wife is. That's one thing my wife prohibited me from. Like after the time, yeah, I can't talk about it. But it involved it involved probably close to a geo incident, and I don't remember it at all. At all. When you don't remember it, you know it's bad. It's like I don't remember anything.
Stay away from that tequila, man.
Yeah.
It's you know.
I just don't know when to stop when I get all happy on that, because I get really happy drunk on that stuff. If you give me Jack or something, it's mean drunk, and that's why I don't drink that stuff.
No.
But I was always good to sip on rum or like Crown, those type of things. I'm good sipping on, but other stuff not so much. All right, let's get over here. Let's get the question beautiful thread up and move along with that. Pretty much Gundam. That's what happens. So we don't do it anymore. We've learned our lesson. We don't do it anymore. Where is my question thing? Should be right about. I got so many codes put up here now. There it is. God, I need to delete the old one sometime. All righty. Oh, we got a good list tonight. This is good. I don't know if they're good questions, but I know it's a good long list. First question from Agent 121370. When will ship instrumentation work? Like planet info, etc., those type of things. When will the ship instrumentation work?
Planet info is when scanning is in, and scanning it got moved off of 3.2 for at least mining, right? I don't know. Like what kind of, like it depends on the instrumentation, right? It's like there's a lot of different types of scanning. Like if you want to like scan, I don't know, scanning's not everything, right? But it's like some of it's item 2.0 stuff for like managing like ship components. Some of it's dependent on other mechanics that are
And
starting
ship instrumentation is a very broad subject, like what the few's saying, because they have it broken up in like several pieces. Like scanning is just one aspect of that, right? Because there's tuning, there's different things of that actually deal with like getting readouts of data on your ship. But if you're dealing specifically with like scanning aspects, like on planet info, those type of things, they're going to implement some tier of that with mining, is what they say. So you can actually find the objects of mining, but that scanning's wholly about detecting elements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other things are going to be about scanning for hostile ships. Other things are going to be about scanning for anomalies and those type of things. So it's a multi-layered, faceted thing. I don't think you're fully going to see it implemented until beta. You're going to see small tier 0 elements of this come in as it moves along, and as we get past 2.0, because as we know, 2.0, Items 2.0 is the infrastructure for facilitating this, but doesn't mean this will be in.
Right.
According to Matt Sherman, anyway.
Well,
So
wasn't it? Didn't they answer it like last week's calling all devs that they said they'll be working on iterating the co-pilot seats and all those things so they can actually start doing a little more than just sitting there with the same.
they did say
crap
that.
on there.
I think the original question from that calling all devs, though, was centralized around being able to operate instruments like what we used to with the shields, moving the shields for the pilot, those type of things. So, again, we're going to start to see some of the systems, and as Matt Sherman's pointed out, 2.0 doesn't make those things happen, but it is the underlying mechanics to help facilitate some of that. But it's not like you get done with the item 2.0 and then all the seats work.
Right.
It's one layer of multiple things. So that's why, again, 2.0, I'm not super hyped for the item system 2.0. I don't care. I mean, I care, but it's not prevalent to me because I think zero-tier game mechanics, party system, these other elements are way higher priority than those things. Because right now, we have problems getting a group of friends in. I'm not so worried about what to do with them yet. Because I can't get them into the game with me all the time. Once I can get them into the game, then we can find more jobs for them to do. That's my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah, I think. Sorry, I was going to go.
Go ahead.
So I think item 2.0 is. So I actually did rank that pretty high because I think that's the thing they keep pointing to that has to get done before they can build a lot of the multiplayer things in.
Yeah.
With like. All the ship's components and all those different panels and all that kind of stuff. So before you can really do any kind of actual multi-crew, you have to have that in. But I agree, though. I think it's honestly, they're all going to be really close together. So one's going to get done a little bit before the other, but they're going to be all pretty close.
Because, like, right now, the reason I rate the party system so high is because they said in that it's going to help you split missions, like share missions to each other, which is so paramount right now. Because right now we all still have to take the same mission, hope we get in it together, and just be able to share missions to facilitate some sort of party gameplay will be a huge step in the right direction to create groups and do things. So.
I agree with that. That'd be pretty cool. And right now we have the beacons, but I have yet to actually get one to actually work where I put one out there, and they can come find me, and it doesn't put me on Olisar. So maybe that'll be different in 3.1. I'm going to try that out tomorrow. I don't know, but yeah.
It worked in the first iteration for me, but I never got to work again.
Yeah,
it was working the other day when I was on there because I kept taking Phantom's
but I couldn't see it.
And then he abandoned it.
Yeah, and I couldn't see it though, right? So I mean, that's the thing. He was trying to facilitate it for me to see, and since it's first iteration, you can't even direct the beacon at a party. It's only like public broadcast or nothing, right now.
Yep.
So again. Party system might mitigate some of that. Maybe you can party system, you can just share to your party the beacon or something like that. I mean, there's different things that you're going to be able to do, but there also has to be a counter to it, so maybe it'll always be public. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But ship instrumentation, plan info like, it's broken up many different phases. We're going to start to see, hopefully, the first iterations of some scanning stuff to roll in with 3.2. But we don't know what that's going to look like or how much it's going to be there.
Golf swing.
I'm so fine with golf swing. Now there's even say, oh yeah, we're not doing golf swing. I'm like, I
hate golf swing.
I don't care. It's for hornets and shit that's not supposed to be that. It's not your terrapin. Yeah, it's like if you're in your Merlin and you want to scan. I mean, they're gonna have something, right? There's like, we'll give you the cheesy stuff.
Nope.
I'm like, that's fine.
Press a button. That's it.
I don't want some like if you get into a terrapin and you have the same scanning mechanics that you get into like an Endeavor, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely,
you got to tier somewhere. So why not have the crap stuff the fighters that aren't supposed to scan, and then put the good stuff together? That's why.
I don't have any problem with that. It just can't be a golf swing.
Oh my god! I'm gonna overlay Tiger Woods golf over my ship and tell everybody it's live. I'm testing it. I'll just have that. Yeah. I'll just cut it out on like I'll find one of the old games and I'll cut out just that animation. I'll be like, oh, I'm testing the new scanning mechanics. The only trolly comments I get about it. Mr. Squarepeg asks, he says, does hangars from this 8 weeks ATV remind anybody of the Death Star in Star Wars A New Hope? To the hangars. I can see what he's talking about.
Wait, in which, the Death Star?
Yeah, like when they first burned the Millennium Falcon going to the Death Star, that type of angle thing. I could see that to a certain degree.
this one has doors though, right? The Death Star is like force field driven or something.
I think it had doors, but you never saw them close again, didn't you? Like when it first pulled in there, wasn't it? It was open in the very first shot at A New Hope when they're tractor beaming the ship in, but you never see them close again. The doors are just always open from then on.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I wondered, like, I was like, why don't they just shut the effing door? You know, it's like, I don't know. I guess not.
Oh well.
Maybe
Yeah.
Just me.
I do hope that they have bigger hangars that you can get eventually, like that Death Star. Not quite super big, but you know.
Yeah, somewhere where multiple ships could come in. It's an actual hangar bay.
Like if I have a hangar in the future, I would like to have a couple of ships, in the same hangar and be able, like, like a garage.
I really hope eventually they're able to re-implement, like, remember the asteroid base hangar that we had, and you could see all your ships in the multiple pads all through there. It looked really cool.
That was awesome.
I think that'd be neat to bring back.
That's why I got my Grey Cat originally, so I could actually drive around the hangar from all the different ships.
Cool. It was like you felt like it was your secret base. It was really cool.
Yes.
Bat hangar or whatever.
Bat cave,
yes.
Bat cave, yeah.
All day.
I'm with Batman references.
Yeah.
And it was very cool, though.
It was.
Yeah.
It was neat. Agent 121370 says, will NPC crews only come at final release?
No.
No.
In fact, I think
that-
they're on the roadmap for. I don't know if they're on the roadmap in the sense of NPC crews, but there's quite a few game mechanics coming out in 3.2 that seem to be preliminary to NPC crews.
Yeah.
Well, that plus take into account as well the fact that they have recently stated that the like for the AI ships, the logic isn't with the ship, it's with the pilot.
Yep.
So those NPCs are already being programmed to be able to pilot ships and stuff like that. So I think that those are actually closer than we might possibly think, even though when I say closer, I don't mean like next month, but closer.
Yeah, and also they have to release the gameplay to test the gameplay in alpha and beta before you're going to release it into the live game. So
absolutely. I would be curious though how far along all of the subsumption stuff is. I think that they've been spending a lot of time lately on getting all the code base there and getting all the logic tree stuff working and all of that, and now they're actually starting to populate those trees with how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And all the AI pirates just got moved over to subsumption, so now they can start working on the actual programming of how the NPCs work, and I think that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, right now I feel like subsumption is like some sort of like professor's like lecture at a university that's just a theory. They haven't really built anything with it yet. So
yeah,
I mean, maybe they have, but I haven't seen the benefits.
I think they've built a lot of it. It's not active, right? Because it's right now the only thing we've seen in the very base level of subsumption type stuff is maybe the wild lines come in, right? Where the NPCs have multiple choices of what to say, but the action sets, the choices of like what to do pattern wise, it's all just scripted. Like this guy walks downstairs, he acts like he's going to fix this. And all this. Subsumption is not live in any capacity that we've seen yet. They're talking about it's starting to be active first in the pilots of the ships. So, so that's for some invitation. So that's cool. I do like the dialogue, but I do want to see a lot more from that.
Yeah, agreed.
If you look at the roadmap, it talks about, I mean, by the end of the year, they're supposed to have what? Ground troops able to deploy from ships and stuff?
Yeah, troops that can reinforcements, basically, that can land on a planet or moon surface and redeploy in like a wave format of like additional stuff. And that's with the AI FPS stuff.
Which is coming in 3.2 June, the first pass of planetary FPS, whatever AI is, I think, June, right? 3.2. The updated roadmap. The updated roadmap.
And all of them.
Let's look.
But the updated roadmap has 3.2, has AI, FPS AI, planetary.
Well, maybe they got it done and they moved it up quite a bit. I haven't looked at it this week, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they've modified the roadmap a ton.
They do every week. Every week.
No, I know, but it's every week they do, but this week is like completely rewritten, like pretty much.
I wonder if that's based on our feedback too.
It is partly. I think also that they just knew they weren't going to make some of the.
Or maybe they just. Maybe they just did it based on what I wanted.
Maybe, but here's my general assumption is, and we all knew this. They announced at the beginning of the year. They said, "Oh, we're going to have all these game mechanics in 3.2," and we're like, "Really? That's a lot to bite off."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right? All of us are thinking that.
Well, let's look at this for a second here because this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
This is kind of interesting because I honestly haven't got a chance to look at this yet. Group systems. That's my number one for party mechanic, right? Group systems, ability to team up with friends to cooperate on missions and jobs, integrate group chat features. That's the party thing. Even though that wasn't voted up number one, that's kind of cool to see on there, right? The mining stuff we've seen. Quantum linking. Again, that facilitates multi-crew gameplay type stuff. But I'm not so excited about quantum linking, but yeah.
Yeah, but here's what bothers me a little bit. And I understand they're developing the game, they're doing whatever, but it's like they had all these things on their roadmap, and they knew they bit off more than they could chew with the game mechanics. So they knew they had to move a lot out of the roadmap, and they knew that if they just moved it out of the roadmap, that there's going to be a little bit of unhappiness in the community. So I feel like what they did, and maybe this isn't true, but I feel like they had, we have all these other things that are mostly done. But let's just throw them up there. They gave us a limited choice of things that we wanted to see to make it seem like we were like prioritizing. And maybe it's all honest. I'm being a little cynical here, but overall, I mean, I love what they're doing. But they're like, let's give them the 10 items that we know are mostly done. We'll let them vote on it, and then when they vote on the ones that they like, we'll swap out these mechanics that we know are nowhere close to being done, and we'll fill up the 3.2 with stuff that we know we can finish. I think it was like an easy way for them to skip and like escape the commitments they've made, to say we're reprioritizing based on stuff that you guys want to be done. But in truth, I think they were just giving us like every item, every choice they gave us to vote up was stuff that they already kind of wanted us to choose because they knew they'd be able to deliver by.
I would agree to that to a certain degree. I think, we talked about this previous episodes too, that it kind of gave them an out, but I also think it's important that they interface to the community. Even though it gave them out, I think it was smart. Right?
Yeah.
It was very smart because either way, certain aspects weren't going to get done for 3.2. And if they have other things done, why not deliver those with it? No,
and I agree. And I love the work that they're doing. I just think it was kind of maybe in my mind, it was a little bit of a roundabout way, but.
Well, yeah, that is a tad cynical, but the job of the community team, though, is to work with, cajole, massage the community, right? So that's their job. They're supposed to keep us happy. So if that keeps us happy and keeps the people who are going to rage at the drop of a hat anyway, it keeps them a little bit more in check, I'm cool with it because we're going to evaluate it anyway.
And it seems to have worked, but I think the reason it worked is mostly because the community as a whole, at least in my mind, already kind of knew that a lot of stuff was going to drop off 3.2. So it wasn't like this like huge shock. It was like
I think all they did was soften the blow a little bit more with the technique and how they did it.
Yeah, in fact, there's a stream I had last week. There's a stream I had last week where I literally said on stream, like, look, almost all this is going to fall off except mining. Mining is the one they're going to keep. Like I knew that like that was so.
I mean, we've all been very skeptical that they're going to meet the schedule at all. The fact that they got 3.1 in it, I think, is amazing, even with slight issues that they've had. And if they can keep that momentum going, even if they don't get everything in, as long as we get more stuff each time, I think it's
exactly. I love the delivery dates. I think that's more important than the content in each one. Is the fact they're meeting those dates. I think that's so important. And as long as it's not total fluff, like, hey, we gave you 2 new ships and a gun, and that's all we delivered this quarter. I'm cool with it because I feel like it's very much it's more important because you'll hear if you read the naysayers and all that stuff, like, oh, they said this and they moved it out. Nobody in the community nobody that's actually spending money on this game gives a shit. If we're getting content and we're getting it on schedule and it's for the most part it's functioning well, we're happy. Right. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, at least we have to realize, or at least those of us who have really been following this, have to realize that it's a pretty big project, and that they're going to hit some things and miss some things. But the key thing, I think, from certainly my standpoint, and I think most of us would agree probably, is that where they failed before is in a complete lack of communication and a complete lack of delivering for like that whole year there, right? So this year is going to be the opposite of last year, where they're going to be communicating all the time with what's going on, and they're going to deliver things even while they have to tell us that some stuff is going to get pushed out because it's just not ready yet. And that's fine.
Yep, absolutely. I think, if anything, the greatest lesson that CIG is going to be able to teach the management team there, because I know all the guys in the trenches realize this, right? They realize things can get pushed. Chris and the guys want sometimes things that just aren't possible to complete in time, but that's their job to push their teams to try to accomplish these amazing tasks and stuff, because that's the only way you progress. If you're the boss and you settle, like, oh, we can't do it, boss. Oh, we just settle for that. Nothing ever get done either. So you got to push your guys and drive the people. But I think what's going to come to the realization is that us as a community are going to be way more accepting of this, of what they have as a roadmap and delivering on these dates and delivering some content than like, oh, they're not going to be happy unless we deliver everything we promise, and kill themselves and delay and delay and delay and then still have to push it at the end. That's why everybody gets pissed off. I think they're going to find this so much more accepting.
Yeah, but it's also just the idea of like the smaller increment of what they're promising. It's like, oh, if somebody promises you, look, I'm going to give you like a couple candy bars, but they end up giving you 2 instead of 3, you're like, oh, that's not so bad. But if somebody promised to give you a brand new car and you're like, oh, it's amazing, and then they don't deliver it for like an extra year, then I don't know. I feel like your like sense of being upset or whatever is greater because you were expecting a bigger delivery and you had to wait longer for it, right? So
yeah. But I also feel like, you know, everybody hyped we waited all year and then 3.0 came out, you know, and all this stuff. I feel like is the same thing I said all last year. When 3.0 came out, everybody would be really interested in the content of what 3.0 build brings for a couple weeks, and then it'll start to die off and whatever. And that's exactly what happened. You can't maintain people's attention because there's not the gameplay loops that Chris keeps talking about yet.
Right.
You know, and so people are like, wow, this is pretty. And so for a whole month, it's like all we see is like Photoshop. Everything amazing, like, oh, look at all this stuff. I'm like, great, you know, it's all good, and I like it, but I like this isn't going to maintain anything. So,
And I think Disco Lando even said once, they said that like the community will consume content faster than CIG can make it right now. So
for sure,
yeah, absolutely.
And that's why you know, more often smaller releases is better, because that helps maintain. I'm going to call it the hype train, even though I don't mean it quite with the negative connotation, but that maintains the level of interest and gives us new things to look at, which is great for us because that's enough to keep it going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Back to the questions. Yeah, but there's a lot of neat updates there where you can see, and it's kind of like we thought. Most of the things from 3.2 fell to 3.3. Some things got pushed up. And again, it's like the few said, most things that are probably more ready. But honestly, the things I voted for look like they got pushed up, even though they weren't the #1 things that were voted for, because I don't know. I think maybe I just have common sense on what keeps people active.
I think that they
right.
Yeah, I think they had their idea of what they wanted to be in that release.
They did, and they just want our opinion. But, you know, I will also say, like, for what Disco said in the beginning, what this vote, he says, again, this will not dictate what we do. We're just taking insight from the community with that. People forget that. They immediately, he'll say that every time as a preference, and they just delete it out of their head. It's like, oh, I didn't vote for this shit. What the hell? And I'm like, well, he already told you that it wasn't going to drive what they did, but they just want to touch base and do that. And yeah, it's good marketing for them.
Plus, it helps them confirm that those are the things that we actually think are important and want to come in, right? So
yeah.
Well, it's like even Gio admitted when he read the thing, he voted for certain things because he didn't read the paragraph below. Like, what was the scope of this? It's like when you read item 2.0, they don't talk about implementing portions of item 2.0 to facilitate multi-crew gameplay. Otherwise, that would have been one of my #1 votes. Right. They say to facilitate equipment upgrades, weapon jamming, degradation. I'm like, yeah, because we need more problems when I can't even have Toy ride on the ship with me yet. I'm like, come on.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's common sense here. If you want to test the game and you want to get more people in and you want people to play together and get excited about it, an MMO is about multiple people. Even if you want to play by yourself, what makes it interesting is you're trying to live in an environment where multiple people have different interests, different ideas, and different shit they want to do, and it's a competition in that. So, you know, any way you cut it, an MMO has to have a party system, or it's not an MMO. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
So, and CIG realized that, and I think they're going to just have to take out the position of, hey, we know what you guys say you want, but we know what you need.
Yep.
And that's important. Be the father figure in this scenario, CIG. Come on. All right. Next one is from Veclor. He says, after watching Fire in the Hole RTV episode, what's the hottest thing you've ever ate? Also, would you take the challenge?
I had ghost peppers, so
Toy would do it.
I'd definitely do it.
I wouldn't do it.
I don't
I'm a
think I'd
wuss
do it.
on peppers. I can do like so I can do some stuff, but I like eating it for flavor and not just for hot. So I'm a big fan of Cholula. I like sriracha, right? I like definitely like pickled jalapenos are awesome. Even like raw jalapenos with, if you get any of the seeds or anything, that's way too hot for me. It's just not enjoyable where it's just hot. So no, I likely wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, it'd
And
just
me
be a
either.
contest. Who could handle
If it's
it?
a contest, yeah, but still though, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's a contest, it'd be like there better be a good prize at the end because
It better be a real good prize
Right.
because I don't handle hot at all, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to hang because I'm not.
No.
I am not a
You look
spicy
like
guy.
Jay Lee there.
J-
His
oh, dude.
cheeks are shaking.
Yeah, I
It
wouldn't.
causes
Be able to.
Yeah.
some pain, man. Yeah, no, that causes some pain. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay. Oh, sorry, go for it.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I cringed when he ran out of milk and started drinking
Yeah.
water. Where it's like that's not gonna help.
Yeah.
Well, he started
yeah.
with milk, and it was chocolate milk, and then he
Yeah.
went through all kinds of stuff.
I'd probably
Yeah.
spew after that, chugging too much milk at once after eating something
Yeah.
a little spicy. You're supposed to sip it to
Yeah.
help quench your mouth. And it's
Yeah.
like people's immediate reaction is, I want to chug a bunch of stuff. I'm like,
Yeah. Jay Lee jumped on my chat earlier and he was like, I didn't remember the last two peppers. I blacked out.
yeah, I forget about that stuff.
What they should have done is say, "Here, take a teaspoon of cinnamon after you're all done. It'll get rid of that burn."
Yeah.
God,
Then you'll
Whole
have to-
teaspoon.
you're just trying to kill people now, Toy.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
like just rub some spices into it; it'll heal the wounds. It's like whatever. Crazy. So yeah, the answer is take the challenge. It'd have to be a hell of a good prize or a hell of a good cause for me to even consider it. But
like a 1080 Ti.
Ooh.
it'd have to be something more than that for me.
Oh, really? More
$1
than
million
yeah.
dollars.
Maybe
$1
yeah.
million
No,
dollars.
but a grand or two is not worth it because you don't understand how to react. I mean, we're talking a week of bathroom pain for me
Oh,
with
yeah,
that type of
that-
stuff. Yeah, so I'm not. It's not worth it. It's not
One
worth
penny. Let's do it for
One penny.
it. Toya
Yeah, no.
Toya do it because you dared him. He don't care. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he's a double dog dare. Let's do it. No, I don't do that. Plus, I also believe some of that stuff now may be against TOS, depending on. I don't know if they let you do those type of challenges anymore.
I don't think with like hot challenges it's
Anything
fine,
that could
because-
hurt you.
Yeah, because like heat from food is just capsaicin, which isn't technically bad for you or harmful
Yeah,
for you. So,
but it depends on
cinnamon
how you do
challenges
it.
would be. So it's like
Yeah, it's a fine
Yeah.
line. I'd definitely also like to just disclaim that if you are a streamer, be sure to talk to like a rep or somebody before you ever do
Yeah.
anything like that. We don't want to be getting banned or in trouble. 'Cause
exactly.
that's a whole different term of service now with some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Do push-ups. Do something healthy as a challenge. Those things are
Yeah.
fun. It's like, because like you challenge me to do 3 push-ups, you'd probably have my ass kicked there too.
Let's go run, Mitt. Why don't you come out to Vegas? We'll
I'll run down the fridge and get in her a tea. That's about as far as I run, brother. I didn't, even in high school when I was on track, like my thing was I did 40-yard dash. That's it. I'm not a distance guy. Mile, I think my best mile was 6 flat, and I've never run that fast again in my entire life. And I literally killed myself. I was like 17 years old, and I literally killed myself to get a 6-minute mile. And I've never run under probably an 8-minute mile after that. It's like, it's insane. I think it was a bet. I got a date with a girl or something like that. I don't remember now. Something.
yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Next question was from Veclor as well. It says, will our character have access to backpacks in the PU to store small items such as ammo clips, stems, components, etc., which would take into account weight and stamina, including limits such as armor type, pilot. So I get what you're talking about, encumbrance, those type of things.
I thought they mentioned that already. Did they say something about that? Like yes, like with cargo pants and other types of stuff.
Well, we
Or
know
no?
stamina and encumbrance is a thing. It's already in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the different things just with the impact of armor. I don't know about inventory stuff because right now, our virtual inventory, you carry like every spacesuit on you.
Well, that's because that's not implemented yet. But that's not the
I know,
intention.
but I don't know. I don't know on slots. Like, say you have the capacity to hold 2 weapons, 4 grenades. I don't know if, like, okay, if I carry a railgun as one of my designated weapons, is that going to be an encumbrance issue? Are they going to go that detailed with it or not? I would say I hope they really don't. I think it's a little heavy-handed of them to go too detailed with that, because the suits already impact a lot. I'm cool with what they have, but I don't want them to go crazy with it.
Yeah, it's not an RPG where you're like going around and like questing and finding all this gear and loading up and carrying a bag. I don't think, but there is going to be a sense, I imagine.
It's going to be like every other RPG I played, where I like max out my weight capacity and I'm slow walking to get away from a monster because I'm carrying too much loot.
Right.
That's what I do in every RPG I ever play.
We haven't seen that either. If they plan on implementing kind of just backpack, like when you're not wearing a suit and just wearing regular clothes, can you get a backpack to hold some stuff in?
Yeah, I think that I don't know. They haven't talked about it specifically. Maybe that's a good question, but I think that that's been implied. Maybe I don't know. I do think you put an interesting image in my head, Mitauchi. I was thinking about being loaded up with gear, and then like, because our system, the way we have it set up is like when you have more weight, you don't walk slowly. You have like you lose your breath faster.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about
die.
You. Like, yeah, you get scared and you like turn around to run and you just pass out.
Pass out. But like for example, playing like Kingdom Come Deliverance, I was always overweight. I'm like carrying like 16 pieces of armor extra that I looted off a mob I killed or something, and I'm like that slow walk.
For, man.
I think I almost killed my horse.
And you couldn't decide which
killed the horse. Yeah.
Horse is max capacity. I'm max capacity.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
You can decide which item to throw away because you wanted them all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, let's see. But yeah, I assume they're going to have certain implementations. I just hope they don't go heavy-handed with it, because that would also solve a lot of people's problem for like the Dragonfly questions. SU really a lot of extra carrying capacity they've centralized on the vehicles at this point. Like how much does your vehicle hold is more important than what your body carries. Veclor also then asks, he says, do you think CIG will deliver everything planned for 3.2? Also, what are you looking forward to the most from 3.2?
I mean, the answer is no, they're not going to deliver everything.
Well, obviously, they've already changed it.
Yeah. And even the new thing they change it to, they're not going to deliver everything. They'll swap things out, I'm sure. I'm not saying, when I say not deliver everything, I'm not saying like, oh, they're going to miss most of it. I'm saying one or two items will always change.
Yeah,
like that's guaranteed.
I would agree with that. But I would also say certain things, I think they've loaded this one specifically to where they're most likely to be able to deliver these things. Some things might fall off, but they've obviously modified it based on the schedule of where they are in development of these specific items. So they've put the things they're probably going to be able to deliver the most likely in 3.2 as of today.
I mean, there's still a lot of stuff in there. I mean, that's a big, long list of stuff.
There's a ton of stuff, but I will also point out the fact that some of the stuff is reworded on what kind of stuff it is.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
For example, group systems, and then what was the other one? There was like man turrets on vehicles one. I'm like, that's something they've already been working on for like over a year. They've done, so there's
and then detail of said stuff. It's like they didn't get very detailed. So it's like what we imagine, like, item 2.0, what is that versus like what maybe they'll deliver,
Right. I mean, I don't know. Most of this is all still
ship persistence improvements.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I mean, well, anything's better than where you're at, I guess, so.
Yeah, well, they still need to fix the logging out of your bed thing so you don't have to be on the same server to get back into that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I look at I'm kind of excited to see the AI progress. Because I think that's going to be important for both Star Citizen and Squadron 42. And seeing the AI do more than just stand in Alistar and stare at a wall would be pretty good.
Yes.
It's going to work,
Yeah. I will also say, if you go down the ship vehicles, even though it says 9 and people are like, oh my God, 9 vehicles. I'm like, okay.
Those are my variants.
1, 2, 3, 4 are the same ship with different skins of weapon loadouts on them. So.
Yep. New Avengers cool though. The Avenger revision is cool. And the Eclipse and the Hurricane and the 600i. So
woohoo!
A bit of stuff in there, I mean, it's not a small release, and
I think
so. We'll see.
I think that's probably Mitauchi's favorite. He's like,
I'm
yeah,
super
600i is
excited
my
to
favorite.
blow that thing up.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. I can't wait.
You've been
Luxury,
wanting to
man.
blow it up. Yeah, you've been wanting to blow it up for so long.
Well,
This is, like,
imagine
your
how
chance.
good the plasma explosion of $400 ship is versus a $200 ship.
I know. Hey,
That's
hey,
very
there you
true.
go. Plus, it's a newer ship on the line, so maybe there'll be better explosion tech by then. So
Absolutely.
It probably has different colors even.
I'll have one of
hide
those.
all
so
the
you can shoot it
600
and blow it up.
eyes in the back of my Avenger.
So what's each of you most excited about out of what we see today on there? What
2.0.
would be something that you'd be
2.0.
2.0 for you? Toy?
The 600 eyes.
600. Jesus Christ. All right. Scorpion?
Huh. Well, I don't know. That's a tough one, really. I am kind of interested in seeing the AI because the other stuff is like, all right. So they're going to keep working on the stuff. But I think the AI and maybe some of the ships, I think, is a key thing. Because right now, I mean, like the pirates are not worth fighting for the most part because they're not very good, or they just sit there, or whatever else. So I think the AI needs to have a really good boost because I'm going to say the AI we had in 2.6.3 was better than what we have now. And I realize that they've made a lot of changes, but I think I'd like to see that kind of move somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the mining first iteration will be fun. I mean, we'll
That's
get
true.
to see what they have planned for it as far as, their mini game wise.
Yeah.
I think go for it.
I was just going to say, I think mining, FPS combat AI specifically for me. And then, so I'm actually excited to see some of the Mustang reworks and stuff. I just, it's a ship that every man will be able to get, even, as a thing, and it'll have a different look and feel to it. So hopefully it'll be...
I do think mining will be interesting in the regard that it'll create that finally we'll have a two-tiered economic system where we won't just have cargo running and doing missions. We'll have mining, which might result in cargo running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like now you'll be a miner, you'll mine stuff, you'll hire somebody to
and
run
possibly
cargo.
missions,
You know what I mean?
like go mine
yeah.
this resource or go do a survey for this resource or something too. So you could have a complete tie-in there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. All right. Good answers, guys. Let's see. And again, guys, if you want to ask a question, exclamation mark questions in chat. We will take a few more. We're still going here. Let's see. Next one. Gundam Citizen. We can have stealth ships. Is there stealth gear for the pilot or jarhead to wear outside of the ship?
I don't think humans are going to have that much of a signature outside of ships.
It's all it's all EMI based, basically, for the most part on that. So when you go stealth, you're lowering your electronic signature. So maybe when they implement power armors, like the Titan armor and something, maybe you'll be able to go into stealth mode, or maybe there'll be more, depending if they have components, you can modify your Titan armor or something like that. But there's really no way to lower your personal level for the signature that I know of.
Stealth mechanics may be a thing for individual players, but it's not going to be stealth from ship scanning. It's to be stealth from like players hearing you, or I don't know, seeing you, or I don't know.
Yeah, not a direct line with what the mechanics we use in the stealth ship.
Yeah.
Let's see, because they don't want Chris will never have cloaking in the game.
Yeah,
he never wants it.
Although that would be interesting. Like if you board people's ships in the future, will ships be able to detect who's on the ship, and can you get like gear to make yourself show up less so if you're like sneaking on it? I don't know. I doubt it. But
remember that one render where they showed they had the map and they showed where all the crew members were, dots on the ship and stuff. So I wonder if that's still going to be.
No, they need that.
Yeah, I would think
they
so
need
too.
that.
But
they need some sort of like Star Trek life signs detector for your ship, because otherwise you're just going to get boarded and you're going to go to sleep.
Well, how could I beam out anywhere? I mean, that's the.
I want the little hologram players I can place everywhere.
There you go. There you go. Let's see. Gundam then asks, he says, will you think we can play mobile games on Mobiglass? For example, casino slots or Pokemon Go?
Yeah, something like that. They're gonna give people something to do while they're in quantum for 8 minutes or 10 minutes.
I know he's joking because he's got the whole little sarcasm thing on there, but I really think I could see that. I could see sitting on my seat, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play this game real quick here, like, you know, like a Tetris or some puzzle game you could play on your Moby. Why not?
Yeah.
There was, I mean,
Well, there-
that has become popular in a lot of games for a long time. I mean, all these games have had mini games in them. All
Yeah.
the big games.
Yeah.
I
I could even see them like building story or lore into that, like where you play a game mobile against somebody else, and if you like beat them, then you get a mission, or who knows? You know, I don't know. Could
Yeah.
be interesting.
It could be.
So, yeah.
I mean, with their technology on render to texture, they can put anything on that Moby glass they really want to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Veclor then asks, he says, will we see hangars large enough to store the Banu Merchantman or Reclaimers since the package comes with a VFG hangar? Do you think there will be more than one size for the VFG hangar?
I don't think all ships will go in hangars. I don't know. Maybe the Banu will go in a hangar. I'm not sure, but a lot of ships will be dock with stations only. Maybe the Banu will have a hangar, but
Let's see how big the Banu is when it's actually done.
yeah.
Because I think
Have
that
you
thing's going
seen-
to be huge.
The video shows a, what is it, the refuel ship going in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it looks to me like that's the biggest hangar. So anything over a,
I just think it's
One of
impractical
those.
to have interior hangars that are beyond a certain size.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe things like the Reclaimer are actually ones that you land on a planetary surface somewhere.
Yeah,
and not
or on one of
in
the
a
extra
hangar.
super
Right.
pads, the big large pads or something.
Or
like that.
dock it off the side with
or
a docking
moored or
collar.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I mean, I think with
what's the advantage
sorry,
of
go
putting in a hangar? That's what I'd be asking myself. What's the advantage of me drawing this hangar, making this bigger, you know, developing this thing for all this stuff for a Reclaimer?
right?
I mean, I just don't. I think at some point you gotta say wins win, you know, because next thing people are like, oh, I want to put my Idris in the hangar. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
why?
And I think also early on when the whole hangar concept came about, there was not the idea that we were going to have all this square, all these, well, I don't know, shit, all the planetary surface area we're going to have now to be able to just park things. Like, I don't need a hangar.
Mhm.
I can just land my ship on a surface somewhere
Yeah.
and have support elements built around it, and I'm good. It doesn't have to be inside. It doesn't have to be anywhere else.
Mhm.
You know, so I think it's going to be a little different probably than it was originally thought out to be.
In my mind, the only reason to even go to most space sports is either for repair, refuel, shopping, or if you're a salvager or a miner to drop off goods. I mean, that's really it. You won't want to be there because you want to keep your guys on the job. You want to keep going out there, and then you'll log off in space somewhere and keep working. That's until you're filled up, and then you come back when you need to resupply or to unload.
Pretty much.
I just don't. I think hangars are going to be a neat spot for people to kind of RP and integrate and do stuff, or get certain missions, maybe wrap and stuff and shop. But that's what it is. It's like you wouldn't live at the mall because that would irritate most of the hell out of us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'd go there to get something done if we had to, and that's about it. And then we go, you know, go out and be out where we want to be.
Yeah. I mean, plus anybody who's got an org or anybody who's in an org is likely to be hanging out where the org hangs out, which may be somewhere completely different than some random space station.
And a lot of these things were thought up with the hangars and all those things before we had planets, before we had landable moons and
Way
stuff
before.
like that. That's when we were really focused on that. So I think having them really interesting to visit, but not somewhere to permanently live, and focus more on the surface type tech where you're going down there to like, you know, actually set permanent residence is probably a smarter move.
Well, and it really frees them up in a lot of senses too. And in fact, if they wanted to extend it out even further, because there has been thought of, certainly within the community, and I know they've kind of talked about it too, but about being able to actually have a place where you live, right? Either like an apartment or some other something somewhere. If they wanted to, they could probably rethink the whole hangar idea, and you actually customize the place that you live and not necessarily your hangar. And then the ship stuff can get taken care of via all the different ways we have now, which is docking in space, hanging out in space, being on a planet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's going to be probably end up being different than it was thought out before, and then even like we're thinking it's going to be now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Next question. Bracketed silly question from Gundam System. Will you think CIG will allow us to add a bright red button that says "Do not push" to our ships for people
would be
to
awesome.
break in and steal your ship. Oh, look, shiny, and then the boom ship explodes. So like a self-destruct button, you can put a sticker on and
Booby trapping ships.
Yeah.
I actually hope they like let you do certain things like this. Not an actual button that's self-destruct, maybe, who knows. But it would be cool is like, let's say you park your ship somewhere and you have the item 2.0 and the like sub-component items, right? It would be cool if you could like take a certain component and like swap certain things out and it like overloads it. So it's like if you turn the ship on, like the system will like
Oh, that would be cool.
and then it fry itself, right? It's like, so
Yeah.
you could, if you know enough about the mechanics, you could like
That would be
jury
neat.
rig your, yeah.
That would be cool because you know about
It's like
it, so
bait
you would
car.
swap the component out before you
Yeah.
turn it on.
And
And if somebody steals your ship and they don't check the components first to make sure everything's
Yeah.
good, yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I like
And
that.
Entrapment, man. It's entrapment.
yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe it doesn't blow the entire ship up, but it would blow that component out, and then it wouldn't be able
Right.
to fly away or something, you know.
Why not just pull one of the components when they go?
Or you
try
could
to-
do that.
Or that too. I mean, there's all kinds
Yeah.
of things. I'm just saying. Like, well, the thing
It's like
is
taking
like
the spark
maybe,
plugs out of your car for
Yeah,
your
yeah,
vessel.
yeah.
It's like, good luck.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Seriously.
Hey, in some areas of space, man, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
It's like, why are
The
you,
problem
carrying,
is-
why are you carrying
Nailed
that component, toy? Oh, I parked the freelancer out back. I didn't want anybody to take it. I just took the entire
Yeah.
like power sections, carrying the battery around with me.
yeah. The problem is though, once they get in the ship, I guess they could just take all your components, then you'll be just as screwed over. So
Because that's probably
I
what they
don't know.
want anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
At the end
yeah.
of the day, I'm pretty sure components will be more valuable in a lot of ways than the ship itself. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
because they're going to be more portable, easy to flip, easy to store,
Yeah.
those type of things.
They might not have that stolen flag that you're gonna get when you steal a ship hull, you know?
Yep.
Right.
Well, and if you can't, make the ship yours, then yeah, there's no reason to steal the ship. Just take everything out of it.
Strip it,
Yeah.
put it on blocks, ready to rock and roll, baby.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Timo or Tomio, if I say it right, I always say Timo. Which I don't know why, because I know the difference. By making ATV shows, etc., do you think it helps CIG make a better game? That is, by making a presentable game right now, do you think this makes a better game in the future? That's actually a
Yeah,
pretty interesting question.
No, 100%. And I think they've mentioned it multiple times. Disco Lando says that they iterate. They release something to the public, they get feedback, they iterate on it again. You know what I mean? One of those things is releasing the game itself for playability and getting feedback, but also it's the idea. They iterate on the idea of the game. And that, what they do is they release a video through ATV or some other method, and they get feedback on the idea as well. So I think I think it's smart.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it definitely complicates the process tremendously for them.
Absolutely.
If they could just be heads down, banging stuff out without having to worry about us, it would be a lot easier and quicker. However, I think the benefit of this is that they get immediate feedback from the community, and they can figure out now that something is or isn't going to work before they're at beta, where now if it turns out that this is not going to work well,
Yeah.
now you're in a bad spot, right? Where you kind of have
Yeah,
to
you've
decide whether
committed
you're
to
gonna
certain
release it or
design
whether you're going to
ideas.
fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it definitely does.
From a pipelining perspective, it's a lot cheaper to like design something concept, right? Like with pencil and paper. But once you pay
Yep.
developers to build something, like the costs.
It also
is-
depends on how you mitigate and how you manage that feedback, though, too. I think they do it in a smart way where they always let you know to begin with your feedback doesn't drive the project, but they take it into account for the project.
Yeah.
So that way, Chris
Yeah.
still has his vision. They listen to us. And
Yeah.
what it does is it helps them avoid pitfalls with the community in certain aspects because they can explain why their idea is working this way, and they can mitigate things beforehand rather than develop a complete gameplay system and just have to explain why they had to make the decisions at the end. They're putting out fires as we go, and that's
Yep.
smart
Yeah.
in my mind
Well, we
because
wouldn't-
it's like that.
We would have never had what we have now.
That's
Landing
right.
on planets the way we do now. If
Yeah.
they would have just kept their head down and
Yeah.
did
There's
it
a
the
lot
way
of
they
things
were
we wouldn't
originally
have now.
planned.
Think how different the game would be right now without the leak that happened. Because all that dynamics. Remember when the first main leak happened, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it wasn't really caused by Disco," but
Right.
that was the whole thing at the time. When the leak happened and all those aspects, and everybody's like that. that developed a whole different type of presentation through the community that, hey, are more willing to show these white boxes. We're more willing to show these concepts. We're more willing to give you insight to the game in ways because it let them know we went crazy for it. We thought that was great stuff. And before, Chris admittedly said a lot of that stuff they were kind of scared to show us, front facing to the community because they didn't know how we'd react. So this way it lets them get those ideas, like you guys were saying, in front of us earlier. And then kind of get that feedback. So that might not change their idea, but it might change the implementation of the idea. Like, oh,
look
we'll
at the
make it a little
golf
different. Yeah, exactly. And even though that's their first test and they don't back off that, they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They know they aren't going to go all in on the golf swing, right? It's like it'd be something that's a very small niche of something. That's it. Scanning for the gray cat or something. Wouldn't that be appropriate? Have a golf swing for the gray cat? Because it's a golf cart. It's perfect. Let's see here. But yeah, I think those shows help them make a better game with the methodology they're using. It also bites them in the ass a lot, but I think the end result is a positive for sure.
Yeah, I agree
for all of us. So, Shadow Spear. Oh, I haven't seen Shadow Spear in a while. What's up, Shadow Spear? Shadow Spear says, with them hitting their Q1 deadline and with some time playing it, do you guys think they will hit with something worthwhile? Follow up. I was like, his thing is two-parter here. I don't really understand the context of what you're saying, but we'll go into it. Follow up. He says, do you believe that second quarter release will be better or the same? So first part of the question for everybody, again, was since they hit the first quarter deadline, and now that you've all played it a little bit, do you guys think they will hit with something worthwhile?
I think what they have is worthwhile.
I do
right
too.
Now you can put 50 people on a server with a reclaimer, with multiple
reclaimers,
yeah,
and still get decent frame rate.
55 frames. With hitching, no, mind you, I mean they're not perfectly clean frames, but on a good server you can get 55. You will dip down, you will still see the 15s and 20s and stuff like that, but I don't see any 5-frame servers anymore at all.
Not much, and even if
they crash before they get to 5.
Even if it does dip down, it doesn't stay down there for very long.
No.
And so I think that definitely shows some improvement, even though, because it still bounces around, it's kind of hard to see that it's better. But I think if you look at the average frame rate, I think it's better, and it definitely feels pretty solid. And I was racing across Yella today in a cyclone, and it was pretty darn smooth. With all the stuff coming in and everything, and it was pretty good. And so I think it's good. I think getting the reclaimer in, which is a huge ship, and to have it even work as well as it does now, and there's only a couple of smallish issues with it, I think is a really big testament to where they're going. And so I think it's a huge milestone. 3.2 I think is even more ambitious than this one. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that comes out.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to deliver something. It's going to be worth it. I don't know what they're going to deliver and what they're going to miss. If they make mining in, they make 3.2, and they make the FPS for characters, and it doesn't lose any performance as what it has now, I think we'll all be pretty happy.
Yep.
PSAI or whatever. So, yeah. And 3.1 is, I mean, I know almost all of us put a lot of time into 3.0, but is quite a bit better performance-wise in general. 3.0 was almost unbearable, like at times. At
times it was, yes. Yeah. Do you guys know? Question, because I try and pay attention to the stuff pretty well, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Do you guys know whether the bind culling is in?
Yeah, 3.2 it's in, not 3.1. It's not in what we're currently playing. Not what we're currently playing. I mean, there are aspects of bind culling I think that exist, but I don't
totally question whether they're going to be able to put that in, because they literally have had devs multiple times now this year say it will not be able to be fully implemented until they have object container streaming. So I just don't see how they're going to do that, because they've said that. And once they've said that, I don't understand.
Is the serialized variable calling in?
I think so.
Yes. Supposedly, at least. I don't know if it's fully, but aspects of it are in. is what they say.
That's the thing is they talk about these features like these unitized modular things that they just finish and install in the game, and in truth, there are these like iterative things.
But then they come back. They come back and they literally say, "Oh, but they're not just single things; they're iterations, right?" They sell it. They sell it in the beginning like it's, "Oh, this is it," but it's more complicated. That after it's implemented and it doesn't get the end result of what everybody expects, they always say, "Oh, but that's not a single. It's not like a switch. That's not the only thing." And I'm like, "Then don't sell it so hard. Like, oh, once this happens, it's going to be great." And I'm like, it's not an on-off thing. It's like items 2.0. They've been selling them for, we're working on it, we're doing all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be iteration for the entire thing until there's no old code left on assets. Yeah. It will always be there.
Yeah. I think, but they sell them as unitized modular, like component, like features, because it's just easy for the community to understand, right? It's like, we're going to do this thing that's going to save your life or make your like game much more enjoyable. But really, in truth, it's like we're going to slowly add more and more of this type of functionality throughout the game's development.
And I'd also say maybe certain devs sometimes incidentally sell it as the single type of features that are like that, because they're like, oh, wait till this feature comes in, it's going to be better. And then the community team has to recover and say the entire time, like, well, it's just an implementation. There's a lot more to it. And I think there's some disco cleanup work that has to happen quite a bit. After you So that's what I've seen.
The other problem. They also, like for 3.3, it says object container streaming is scheduled. Now, we've had devs say over a month ago, they're already working on that.
Right.
So some of that stuff is on and working.
Well, they've also...
it's not even...
Yeah, they've also said they're working on a ton of stuff that's not on the schedule at all.
Yeah. As well, yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that's, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, we've already started to, I won't say we've had a grand departure from what Ben originally told us, because he told us, you will see a live iteration of what we're seeing, but we know it's a little bit different version on the public-facing version versus what's internal, what they turn on and off and let us see. I mean, that's obvious, because it has to be, or that means they don't have a project schedule for what they're working on except what we see, which is bullshit. That's not true.
No, they have more. Plus, it's not always that clean either, because stuff comes up and things happen, and they need to have developers work on things and jump on this and that. So,
we're looking at a very high level. I mean, anybody who's been in project management and worked on any type of Gantt chart, you have tasks, all this other crap that's like, I mean, there's like 84 tasks beyond that. Even the tasks they list under each subject, those are the high-level tasks. If it says 68, that means these are like checks and balances to make sure the 20 tasks under each subject are done. So this is a very high level. This is like the client cell level, where the CEO of the company that you're doing the job for, that your company's doing for, would look at this. That's what I would show him. It's like, oh, so you mean the servers are going to be in the second phase? No dates. Yes, that's true. Okay, sounds good. Let's go ahead. Then they don't worry about it anymore. So, but that's the way that goes. All right. So next question. And again, though, I think they're doing a great job with what they have. I think second quarter is going to bring in a lot of good stuff, if you missed any of that. Shadow Spear then asks, he says, if each of you were forced to have some cockpit flair, what would be the worst possible item you would hate to see on your dashboard?
Oh, man.
I don't know, really bright, glowy red lights
that doesn't violate the TOS.
Oh, it TOS, okay.
Yeah.
So I could probably think of a lot of things there.
The
worst. Wow, I don't know. That's
J-Lee bobblehead.
J-Lee bobblehead.
J-Lee. No, I want a J-Lee bobblehead. No,
that would be the worst.
Bright glowing lights that just distract you from being able to see out the window.
So a disco Lando ball.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't know. I'm bad with the worst questions.
There you go. There's toy.
There it is. I'm pretty amenable to lots of things. I don't know. If I didn't like it, I would probably just ignore it. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, what would the worst be? I don't know. I can think of lots of things, but all of them would get me in some kind of trouble.
I know. That's where I'm kind of living at right
now.
I
know.
All right.
I think the one that I wouldn't want up there is the Sandy Gardner Hula Girl. would probably be the one I wouldn't want on my dash. Nothing against Sandy. I just don't like the hula girl things. Like,
Yeah, no.
They were distracting. No good. All right. Veclor then asks, he says, with the release of 3.1 and the changes to the lower reclaim cost and time wait because of the crashes and disconnects, well, that's a big preference. Do you think we should have ship and character persistence to avoid AUEC loss going forward?
Maybe. Yeah, I think that there should be a sense of, you crash, you should have some period of time, like 5 minutes, to reconnect to the server to resume where you were. Like, I think a lot of games, right? Like, you can be like, oh, I disconnected. Even like multiplayer games like PUBG or whatever, you crash, you can join back in and you'll be with your friends jumping out of the plane or whatever. I think there should be some sense of that in this game that lets you try to get back to where you were.
And they had that in beta for a little bit, right? Like if you crashed in your ship out in the universe, we were able to reconnect not in beta, I mean in PTU. I remember a build where I could get crash and disconnected, I could load back in, and I was in my ship in space. Whether that was intentional or not, there was like a window of a build there in the PTU.
Yeah. So go ahead. Okay. So yeah, I would like to see some progress made on the whole concept of this magical server meshing we're going to have, which is going to rely very heavily on having a big master database that is tracking all this stuff, that then just feeds information to whatever server you happen to be on. And that is actually what's required right now to be able to log out in your bed in your ship and log in and end up back in your ship on any server you happen to log into. So I think that is going to lead to some of this persistence where the database is going to know where your ship was and where you were. And so that when you come back in, you should be able to kind of pick up where you left off and don't have to wake up at Alisar or wake up at Grimhex or those kind of things.
Yep.
And let me add to that. I hate the fact, I understand where they want to go when the game is released, but we're testing in an alpha now. You shouldn't have to wait 8 hours to get your reclaimer back if you get crashed or you're on a planet or something.
Yes.
When the game's released, set it for whatever you want. But for testing right now, no. And especially the money too. The money and the time, those should be down to almost nil. Put it in just to say, yes, it's in, it's working. We can adjust the time later.
Yeah, but I think fixing that with reloading back in where you left off after a crash, as long as you do it within like 5 to 10 minutes, would fix all those problems. You know what I mean? Like, you have a choice. You crashed, log back in, get back in your ship, continue.
But here's the other thing, though. So I understand that they want to get us to understand the money thing and want us to understand how weighty having a ship blow up is going to be and how it's going to actually mean something. But honestly, we're at least a year away from having to really even start to care about this. And they're giving us 5,000 alpha UEC, which if you buy even one set of armor, that's basically gone. So I think that with the goal of this being testing, I mean, don't they want us buying stuff? Don't they want us trying to do the other things? Don't they want us?
I think they want to test everything, though, is the thing, right? And I agree with you, but I think that their thought process, at least in the beginning, is they want us to test everything. And obviously, they've reacted to our reaction. This is another great example of what CIG said and has done. We had a negative reaction that we're like, hey, we're having problems. We can't even play the game. Those of us who have a limited number of ships, we're already out of money to be able to reclaim everything. So we can come in the game for 5 minutes. We lose a bunch of ships, and now we're going to wait till tomorrow to play again. So they've made adjustments now to mitigate some of that.
Yeah. I agree. I agree that they have. I just wonder what their thought process is when they go into this, because I think it's keeping in mind that they want us going in here testing it, keeping in mind that they want us to be happy and going in here, keeping in mind that all those things. I just wonder where that decision comes from. I'll tell you, I rage quit the game on like last Saturday night because I got in there with my son to try and go and walk through the reclaimer. And we went in there and like he glitched through the elevator and we were trying to get back in there and stuff happened. And we ended up getting booted out. and then I was looking at either waiting 8 hours if I didn't pay the expedite fee, or waiting 47 minutes if I did do the expedite fee.
Wow.
And so it was just like, okay, yeah, this doesn't work for me in either way. So I understand all the stuff, but like I think they have to think more about what the goal is of what we're doing right now.
I would agree to a certain aspect of that. I mean, obviously they're listening to us, and hopefully if we run into more issues, there you go, they'll fix those. But I agree, in testing phases and stuff, it depends what their focus of the test is. I mean, you know, are they wanting us to get out there, stress test it, and fly the ships, and do stuff, blow stuff up, run trade runs, run missions, all that stuff? Or are they testing the reaction system? Like, when you have a long time to wait, how do you react? Do you shut off your game? Do you leave your game on? Do you wait the timer? I mean, that itself is a test.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
It sounds a joke, but I mean, at the same time, that's the only way to gauge, are they too heavy-handed with the mechanic or not? They have to test that at some point.
Agree.
But I agree with you. Maybe right now is not the best time to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And later on, honestly, yeah, no, I agree. And then later on, though, like, they're going to have to, because they want this game to turn out a certain way, and they're going to want to take our reactions into account to some degree. But if they really want to make this the way they kind of want it to be, they're going to have to stick to their guns later on to some degree, right? So anyway, so yeah, I think it was an interesting decision that they made, and I think it was interesting that they ended up walking it back. So I think it all worked out, but it was definitely an interesting process.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with the sticking to your guns, though. I think it's important for games to do that. Take what the community says, stick to your vision of what you want to do, and if there's small tweaks you can make to compromise in certain areas, great, but don't change the vision of what you want. If you want it hardcore, keep it hardcore. If every special snowflake comes in there and wants it to be like acceptable and easy for everybody, you're going to lose your main audience. And the minute you lose your main audience and your hardcore audience, you have casuals, and casuals will go wherever the wind blows. That's just where it is. It's like, oh, what's hot today? Fortnite, great. See you later, CIG. That's what'll happen.
Exactly.
You know, you have to stick to the vision. People back this game for $180 million based on Chris's vision.
Exactly. Yep, I agree.
Nobody can argue anything different. They can say it's wrong, right, whatever, but nobody can argue. That is the fact of what has happened up to this point. So
that's why I backed.
Yep.
So, yep.
Absolutely. Let's see. Phantom Killer has a question. He says, when will all of you streamers play Star Marine with or against us viewers?
Great question.
P.S. Please no EU. He didn't want us playing the EU server, I guess. He's probably talking about zombies coming in there with super laggy and beat everybody their day. He had like a 240 ping. And
Phantom Killer says it's not him.
It's got to be him. It's absolutely him.
I'm game, you know, on some weekend likely, but I'm game.
This weekend, I'm always down. All right, last question of the night.
Yay!
And remember, guys, if you haven't already got into this 500 bonus entries, please do that. That's for the 1080 Ti. All you have to do is put !1080 Ti in chat, and that will get you entered for 500 extra entries in the raffle, along with watching many of our shows. So make sure you're following everybody in channel and all that other good stuff. Let's see. So from Bang Chow, considering the survey thing on RSI, what do you think the ratio of solo players to small group players to greater than or 5-party players is? I'm guessing that's a landslide of solo players, and that is why the party system isn't on top. What do you think? It's a great question.
It's a very thoughtful question. Yeah, I think that chances are right now it's a lot of solo players. But I don't think it. So I don't know. I think that there are some solo players. I think that there are some orgs. I think there are a lot of solo players who would like to have their friends in here, but they probably can't get them to dive in yet. And that's probably part of the dynamic that's going on. But I think really in this case probably is just people voted for other things over it because they thought that they were likely more important. Like the party system's coming one way or another.
Yeah.
And I think the voting was, I don't know. I think they're all coming in anyway. It doesn't really
matter. And the current party system isn't really that uncomfortable.
No, I can get in with players pretty easily. So we can't do much in there, but
I agree though. I do think that a lot of solo players. In fact, I think that's why the Twitch community in Star Citizen is so great, is because people are coming on Twitch just to find other people to like hang out and play the games with. Like, you know, it's a good way to say, hey, who wants to play Star Citizen with me?
Well, and I think a lot of people vote on what's important to them as individuals, because that's naturally how we're built, right? Like, this is important to me. And I think certain aspects of it also have obviously been drilled in our heads by previous episodes of shows and stuff like that, like Item System 2.0. Oh, it's so important. And then you read the context of it. And maybe it's not the scope of what you're thinking is going to be the immediate delivery. It might be a little different. Also, you see other things like, oh, this would be cool. But then they don't think about other aspects like grouping and stuff like that, because that's not how they are going to play. But they don't realize how important that is to the overall game in many cases. So I don't know. I mean, I think everybody votes what they want. I don't think necessarily everybody had a powwow and voted, you know, because if you saw more orgs that were like actually meeting up and talking about what way they're voted and discussing it, you'd probably see a lot more for the party systems. I think people just hopped in there and they voted, and they just voted what they wanted. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, I'm glad to see CIG's kind of, I won't say ignoring the vote, but they're doing what they feel is like a stronger priority, which is what I think's right. So that's good. Thanks. Thanks, CIG, for listening to Mitauchi. I'll take full credit for that. There you go. All right. And with that, guys, that's the end of our show. So, again, thank you all for being here. Thank you to Toys, Scorpion, The Few, and Mitauchi for being here.
You.
You're welcome, Mitauchi.
Thank you yourself.
I always do.
Third person there.
Yeah. Always. You gotta,
Hey,
you know,
home teleprompter, man.
nobody else is going to thank me for being
teleprompter.
here, right?
The few for being here.
Yeah.
Nobody else is. So I got to handle it sometimes. Just handle it myself. All right. But again, make sure you got the exclamation mark 1080 Ti in chat. We'll pull this raffle real quick for you. Please be following all these awesome streamers. I know I didn't have the guest chart up right, but I did make the amazing lower third graphics for everybody. So
Yeah, those are
I mean,
pretty
you
cool.
know,
I like those.
I mean, come on. You can't have it all. Can't have it all. And don't forget to check out not only this giveaway for the amazing 1080 Ti, I also believe there is a beautiful giveaway from Dr. Drones, also on the website, for a $100 Amazon card. There is also an amazing giveaway from this Mitauchi guy for a starter package that will be drawn at the beginning of next month. And then you have several other people. If you check some of our channels, I know Moist was still doing a giveaway, and some of the other guys are. So tons of giveaways
giving
out
away
there.
some stuff tomorrow. So
Yeah, a few things tomorrow, and we got a reclaimer giveaway for the month of.
There you go. So I think check out all the channels, man. Lots of good giveaways going around this time of year. So get in there. And if it's not something you're interested in, get your friends involved. I mean, it's a good time to get that buddy who's on the fence, maybe wants a starter pack or just a cyclone like what the Few's going to be having and some of those other things. So there's lots of good giveaways. All right. Let's draw this thing and see who's going to be our winner for the evening. Good luck to everybody. We're going to seal it up now at 67 viewers. So less than 50% of the chat got in there.
wow.
That's on you. It's whatever. And the winner of tonight is going to be Jefferton. Jefferton,
Nice.
hitting it up hard, buddy. Thank you so much, man. So we will be shooting you over a 500 entry key code to get some bonuses into this amazing 1080 Ti giveaway. And
Very nice.
really appreciate you watching and hanging in there with that stuff. All right, guys. Well, it's been a good show. I've had fun. Did you guys have
it was
fun?
fun.
You have
Yeah.
fun?
It was
Good
fun.
time.
It was good.
That's
time.
good. I think
It ended very well.
I think we ended very well. I think it was,
Ended better than it began.
I think it did. I think it ended really good. So from all of us Space Bros, have a great night. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna maybe play this again. We can do this. Oh, I got my kazoo too. You get your
Oh
kazoo.
no, no more
Are you
kazoo.
gonna do it?
No?
Oh no,
No. Have a good night, guys. We'll see
We
you all
my
later.
ears.
did that.
my ears.
Your ears are all bleeding. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you all later. Peace out.
Good night, everybody.
Go get some cargo, they said to me.
That was good.
Sell it and double your AUC. Oh, went out there thinking it would be easy.